Got to dial the area code now.
Got to dial the area code.
I would have called a minute earlier, but I forgot to dial the area code first. We are here. Norm is here. I am here. And I think we're ready for a baseball game. Anthony, hi. A good signal. Yeah, you should. I'll just keep on talking here and send me a text if you think there's anything wonky, Eaglefoot. Everything sounds good.
I assume I can be heard pretty good, too. Awesome.
No, just play the same ones as last time because we didn't get a chance to interview anybody last game. It was raining too hard. I didn't want to get wet. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jamestown Tarp Skunk Baseball on WRFA. I'm Jason Sample, joined by Norm Rodriguez. Tonight's game features your Jamestown Tarp Skunks hosting the Newark Pilots. A reminder, support for WRFA's coverage of Jamestown Tarp Skunk Baseball is provided in part by Schultz Auto Group, the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, Reg Linnaeus Center for the Arts, and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting's American Rescue Plan Stabilization Grant. We'll get you caught up with the game tonight in a preview in just a moment, but first let's welcome my partner in crime, Norm Rodriguez. Norm, good evening to you.
Good evening to you as well, Jason. Great back to be here again for another Skunks game. Season's still young. Again, we're here at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park, a jewel in the city of Jamestown. They come in 3-0, 2-0 in league play, so they've yet to lose a game. Newark comes in looking to get a first win. They're 0-2.
Yes, indeed. We'll see if Newark can get off the slide and get a notch in the win column or not. But in the meantime, we'll see if the Tarp Skunks can't continue their winning ways here at Dietrich Park in Jamestown, New York. Jamestown Tarp Skunks made a successful go at it last season. Practically unbeatable when they play at home, and we saw that so far with the home opener. It was a non-league game against the Olean Oilers. Despite only getting one hit, they still came up with 2 runs with some nifty base running and capitalizing on a few errors and mistakes by the opposing team. Jamestown got the non-league win, and then they were on the road both Friday and then Sunday, and they got the win at Niagara Falls and then Elmira respectively. At Niagara Falls, they simply won 11-1 in 7 innings. The 10-run rule was in effect, and they were able to get the W, making short work of the Niagara Power. Tonight they face the Newark Pilots, as you noted, are 0-2 so far on the season, trying to get their first victory. So we have ourselves a really good matchup here. I'm looking forward to it. I should also note that in addition to Norm Rodriguez and myself, we have our other intern for the 2022 season, Max Pinchator. We'll be checking in with Max in just a little bit later on this game to introduce you to our listeners, Max, and also give our listeners an indication of who you are and what you plan to do this season with WRFA and Tarp Skunk Baseball. In the meantime, it appears they are about ready to break for the national anthem. We'll stay with you for that as always, and then on the other side, we'll give you the starting lineups for both teams. Jamestown hosting Newark here at Dietrich Park. And there you have it, the national anthem, and that's a sign that we are just about ready to begin action. And with that being said, Norm, why don't we go down the starting lineups for tonight's teams?
I've already got it set up. We're going to start with Newark since they're batting first. Leading off will be the second baseman, number 8, T.J. Werner. Then after him will be the center fielder, number 15, Aaron Whitley. Then in the 3 spot, the third baseman, number 19, Ty Morgan. In the cleanup spot, the right fielder, number 14, Dan Goods. Then it'll be the catcher, Jake Given, number 11. Then the DH, number 5, Derek Smitch. Then the extra hitter for Newark, number 22, Greg Kopp in the 7th slot. Then shortstop, number 1, Kyle Wood. Matt Fabian, the left fielder, number 25. And Matt Kine, number 20, the first baseman. Their starting pitcher will be Henry Tyler. First off for the Skunks, so their starting pitcher is going to be Travis Perry, number 33, as he does his warm-up pitches right now. But here's your Skunks starting lineup. And in the leadoff spot, the man who likes to run Jellystone Park, the extra hitter, number 28, Yogi Hardigan. Then after him will be the second baseman, number 12, Nate Johnson. In the 3 slot will be the third baseman, number 7, Cody Bay. Then in cleanup, another familiar face, but no longer number 19. He's number 10 now, the first baseman, Patrick O'Shaughnessy. Then number 5, playing DH tonight, so he won't be behind the plate, the Golden Bat, number 24, Johnny Campus. Then in the 6th slot will be the right fielder, number 13, Brandon Lane. Then Will Durrell, the left fielder. Dan Maglio, who will be behind the plate tonight for the Skunks. Henry Martinez in the 9th slot, the center fielder. And then Mark Tucker, another returner, at the shortstop slot.
Very good. I want to remind our listeners that if you are turning into terrestrial radio, 107.9 FM, the game is being broadcast there. Or if you happen to be streaming the game online, it's on our mobile app and also available at our website, www.wrfalp.com/streaming. And then also, once again, we do have Ed Tomasini, volunteer, local videographer, providing the video feed along with our broadcast. So if you want to watch the game, you can do so on YouTube. Simply go to youtube.com/AllenDale101. That's youtube.com/AllenDale101. You can also find a link to the broadcast at the Tarp Skunks website, and you might be able to find it there if you're unable to follow my instructions. Don't always give good instructions. With that being said, Norm, we are ready to get this game underway, and stepping up to the plate will be the second baseman for the Newark Pilots, TJ Wemmer, who is batting right-handed, and here comes the delivery from Travis Perry. Norm, take it away.
Thank you, Jason. We're about to get the first pitch here, and again, Jamestown virtually near unstoppable here at Dietrich over their first year and change, as the first pitch is fouled off for strike one, and the first pitch occurring at 6:33 p.m.
And we're underway here. They say there's a chance possibly for some showers this evening, but it looks like it cleared up pretty well, and I don't think that's going to happen, but we got a few hours in front of us. We'll see.
Swung on and missed for strike two, and so far this year for Werner, 2 games played. He's batting .250. He's got 1 hit and 4 at-bats.
Perry up on the count, 0-2 here.
Let's see if he can follow the shades of corn, get a strikeout to start the start. Here's the 0-2. Fouled off, and the count stays 0-2, and he'll see another pitch.
You mentioned Korn. Ian Korn is who Norm is referring to, the starting pitcher on opening night here at Dietrich Park on Thursday night. He did a great job starting the ball game. 7 strikeouts, I think, in 4.5 innings.
4 flat. But here's the 0-2 by Perry. Outside and low. Count goes 1-2. However, Perry's still ahead in the count.
Just a little on the outside. This is the 4th pitch. Obviously, we don't do a thorough pitch count, but we know that the managers try to be conscientious of how many pitches each pitcher throws here in the league.
Here's the next pitch on the way. Fouled off again. So Werner, he's doing pretty well keeping this at-bat alive, even though he's behind the count still 1-2.
Werner, not the largest player on the team, but maybe the fastest, obviously, in the leadoff slot. Trying to get on base is key for him. Get a good start here for his Pilots team.
So here's the 1-2 again by Perry. And this will be a chopper foul down the third base side. And while we wait for the next pitch, in Newark's last game, they were playing the Niagara Power. They came up short 13-8. So again, they're looking for their first win of the year. They're 0-2. And count still 1-2, coincidentally, as Perry gets set on the mound. Looking to end this duel with an out. And here's the pitch on the way. Caught looking, strike 3, so Perry ends the battle with a bang. The backward K, now it's going to be Aaron Whitley, the center fielder, up to bat.
Whitley also batting right-handed here. Norm, you've got the smartphone, so I'm sure you'll be able to find the stats here eventually. But in the meantime, that was a nice battle there to start this ball game, and it was nice to see Jamestown come out on top. Travis Perry getting a strikeout in the first batter he faces.
And here's his next pitch. That's going to go through second base to center field, a base hit. So a first pitch swing. Prior to that, he was batting 2 for 7, 286 with a pair of RBIs. So put that average up to 375, 3 for 8.
Not a bad hit there with 1 out here. A man on first for the Newark Pilots, and now Ty Morgan, the third baseman, steps up. He also bats right-handed, steps into the box here and waits for the delivery from Perry. So a nice duel for that first batter. The second batter saw the first pitch you liked, ripped it up the middle, and here we are now with a runner on first with 1 out in the top of the first.
This will be Morgan's second game of the season. The first game he played, and he went 2 for 3 with a couple of RBIs as the pitch is outside for ball 1.
Catching is Dan Maglio, as you noted, tonight. No Johnny Campus this evening, the regular starting catcher, but it'll be interesting to see what Maglio can do the first time we get a chance to see him this season.
And even so, Campus will be batting as a DH tonight as the next pitch hits the heart of the plate for a 1-1 count. And we got that triple stick on the board, 1-1-1, ball striking and out. And a decent-sized lead off at first by Whitley. Perry takes a quick check, comes set. And here's the 1-1. Oh, in the dirt, and it goes into the backstop, and more than enough time for Whitley to get to second base.
Yeah, Whitley gets to second on the passed ball from the catcher there. Again, that was Dan Maglio, my apologies. So now we got a runner in scoring position with just one out. The count is 2 balls, 1 strike against the batter, Ty Morgan, the third baseman for the Newark Pilots, trying to get an early lead here at the top of the first inning at Dietrich Park.
And teams being ahead here that aren't Jamestown, it's a rarity as Perry takes a quick check at second. Here's the next pitch. Outside corner, strike 2, and even though he aborted, that hit more than enough of the strike zone. So the count goes even. Perry looking to get a big out number 2 to force a base hit for a run. Perry taking a long look at what sign he wants. Now he gets it. He takes a check at Whitley. Takes another look. Count still 2-2 with just 1 out. Here's the pitch. Fouled off and going to the souvenir area of the ballpark.
Yeah, that was a nice rip, but couldn't really straighten it out there. Made some good contact. But the count remains 2-2 here with a runner at second. Quick timeout as Maglio goes out to talk with his pitcher, Travis Perry. They get back in position, and we get ready to do it again.
So Morgan steps back into the box. We're just waiting for that other foot to go in because if your foot's outside that white line, it's an automatic out. So Perry looking to get another out here, or even an unconventional double play. It's always a positive thing for a pitcher as he gets a sign from Maglio, comes set on the belt, and takes a check at Whitley again. And here's a 2-2. Low in the dirt, count goes full.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that pitch was. It looked like he was trying to hit an outside slider there. But he came with some heat, that's for sure. That's the second time we saw that pitch go low and outside. The one time it went low and outside, it went past the catcher and advanced the runner.
And with that, it's a full count, 1 out. And here's the 3-2 pitch. A broken bat. It's going to go right into the glove of Tucker. So pop out to short for out number 2. And, man, just like the days of those big guys, breaking the bat when you swing it.
So that's the second out, and here comes the cleanup hitter now, Dan Goods, the right fielder, batting left-handed, number 14, stepping up to the plate. He's got a runner in scoring position, and a base hit should advance his player across the plate with 2 outs here. He'll be going on contact.
Yeah, and so far, Goods, he's batting more than 500. He's 4 for 7, good for a 571 with 1 RBI, and this is his 3rd game for the Pilots. So he'll look to get one to lift off to score the first run of the game, but it's got to be a base hit or an error that's deep enough to score home Whitley. Here's the next pitch, and swung on and missed for strike 1.
Yeah, that came in pretty fast. It looked like he was well behind that pitch. Swinging a little late there. And we'll see now if Perry decides to come in with an off-speeder, because you know that Goods is going to try to make an adjustment on the next pitch he sees. That he likes, I should say.
And I think that broken bat out maybe relaxed Perry a little bit. Doesn't look as pressured with his pitches now from what we saw in the last at-bat with Morgan. But right now he's ahead in the count, 0-1, looking to get a 0 on the board to start it off. Here's the next pitch. Chopper right back to the pitcher. Perry will granny flip it over to O'Shaughnessy, and that's half an inning here at Dietrich Park.
Yeah, so after a half an inning, no score, 1 base hit, 1 runner left on, and we are ready to thank one of our sponsors. Support for WRFA's coverage of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks in 2022 is brought to you in part by Schultz Auto Group. Schultz Auto Group, celebrating over 50 years of serving the community's automotive needs with an excellent customer buying and ownership experience. At Schultz Auto Group, all repair facilities have experienced and factory-trained technicians with state-of-the-art equipment for every automotive need, no matter what engine type, gas, diesel, or electric. The next generation of auto care is already at Schultz Auto Group. Schultz Auto Group, a proud supporter of Jamestown Tarp Skunk Community Baseball on your community radio station, WRFA LP. For more information, call 1-866-931-2998 or visit schultzauto.com. Back to you, Norm.
Thank you, Jason. As you do that thing that you were telling me about before the start of the broadcast. We're about to start the bottom of the first inning here momentarily. We're scoring Newark 0, and here Skunks are about to come up the bat and try to spray some runs with that skunk spray on the board for Jamestown, as it's going to be Hardigan, Johnson, and Bay to start it off. And completing the warm-up pitches, again, the starting pitcher for Newark, it's Henry Tyler, number 18. And we're going to check to see if he has pitched at all so far this year. Thankfully, like Jason said, with a smartphone, you're able to find stuff like that, thankfully.
Did you mention he was left-handed yet? Got a lefty starting tonight. I'll make note of that.
Yep, it'll be his first appearance of the season. He's bats and throws lefty. He goes to Hamilton College, and he's a native of Abington, Pennsylvania.
You get a copy of one of the rosters up here, Norm? It looks like you're hoarding the roster over there in your little pile.
I thought I had another program for you. That's strange.
Oh, they include them in the program.
Yeah, they got slipped in.
Very nice. In that case, carry on, Norm. I'm going to look for my program. I'll check right back in with you.
All right, so final warm-up pitch thrown. This half inning by Tyler, and Hardigan's going to come up to bat. Yogi Hardigan off to a strong start. His first home game. He did not get a hit. However, he did steal a pair of bases to score one of the 2 runs for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. He will come up to bat, and he's a left-handed hitter stepping into the box. And I'm curious to see how Tyler's going to do on the mound here. We've seen some good opposing pitching over the year and change so far at Dietrich, as the first pitch is outside for ball 1.
All right, so we got the lefty versus lefty matchup going on here.
And so far, Hardigan, he's batting .333, he's 3 for 9. And how about 4 for 10 as that grounder goes to left field for a base hit. And now they got a guy that's very dangerous on the base pass. Again, the first home game of the season, he had 2 of the team's 8 stolen bases. Bazill's a guy that loves to get his runners to take off.
Yeah, Bazill likes to get him in scoring position. Maybe no better manager in the league who knows how to work his runners and put them in the spot they need to be to score some runs. He does great capitalizing on runners when they hit the base path. We saw that Thursday night with only 1 hit. They still won the ball game.
Yep, as Nate Johnson's the next batter, he swung and missed the first pitch. He's off to a slow start, 1 for 5 on the season, but just 5 at-bats. The season's young, and plenty of more at-bats to come to raise that batting average even better. Again, Hardigan, he's got a good lead off first base. Here's the 0-1 pitch. In the dirt, but a good block there by the catcher Given to even the count 1-1.
Yeah, you know, I'll keep an eye on how far he gets off the bag. Obviously, when you're facing a left-handed pitcher, they're staring right at you on first base, so you don't want to take too big, but you're right. He's got a pretty generous lead there, and we'll see if Tyler makes an attempt to pick him off or not.
He did a little fake out there as you were talking about that, so a mix of irony and coincidence. 1-1 on the way as he's taking a long look at Hardigan. Here's the next pitch. Swung on and missed, 1-2. And Hardigan, the leads he has had so far in these couple of pitches we've seen, it's almost the suicide lead where if he does not get back in time on that throw back, it's a pickoff. But it's a 1-2 count. Next pitch on the way. Low and inside. Count goes even at 2s.
Nate Johnson, a local player, plays right here at this stadium for Jamestown Community College, Dietrich Park, not only for the Tarp Skunks, but obviously for the local community college as well. 2-2 the count, as Norm noted.
And here's his next pitch. That's low. Count goes full. And with you saying that, Jason, he's one of 2 players that play for JCC. The other one is right-handed pitcher Bryce Jackson. So not just one local guy. We also got Ryan Rafalski, who's from Warren, PA. As there's a full count here. Next pitch, ball 4. And with that being a pass ball, Hardigan could take off for third if he wanted to, but they'll just go station to station. And as we hear the Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons Walk Like a Man, one of the walk tunes, Cody Bay, the third baseman, will come up to bat.
Cody Bay coming from Wagner, one of several players on the team, or 4 players from Wagner. I guess that would be several. What constitutes several, Norm? Would that be 3, more than 4?
I'd say between 3 and 7.
Okay. Several players from Wagner, and here's one of them right now. He's got a chance to drive in a run or 2.
Yes, he does it. Oh, he's going to bunt, though. And he executes it beautifully. Just right back to the pitcher. Runners advance an extra 90 feet, and he put it at the sweet spot. Only where the out could have been forced was at first.
Yeah, nice sacrifice with no outs. Why not? Good call by Coach Jordan Bazil there to advance his runners, and now we got 2 in scoring position with just 1 out. Up steps the cleanup hitter, Patrick O'Shaughnessy. The first time we've said his name this season, or at least seen him play. He wasn't here on Thursday, but here he is. He's a return player from last season as well, and he's batting left-handed.
And he's got it done last year as an RBI machine, but this time he's wearing 10, not 19. First pitch to him's a chopper to first. Oh, it goes under his glove, but can the throw be beat at time? Yes, but it's good enough to drive a run. Hardigan's heading home. He caught him napping. How about 2 RBIs on that one? And O'Shaughnessy again gets it done on a sac grounder. And also what I was going to say is, last year he was a tough batter to strike out. His walk to strikeout ratio was almost 4-1, 39 walks, just 10 strikeouts. Aggressive
base running, and that's the name of the game for Coach Bazil. We saw it last season, and we're seeing more of it tonight. I'm not sure if it was a safe bet to throw Nate Johnson. It wasn't 100% ensured that he'd get across the plate for that second run, but Coach Bazil sent him anyway, and the results speak for themselves. 2-0 Tarp Skunks.
And it's the same result as it was against Olean. 2 runs and 1 hit right now for Jamestown, but I know they're looking for some more hits as it's Johnny Campus. He's DHing tonight, getting a night off from being behind the plate as the next pitch is on the way. Hits the outside corner. Count goes even, 1-1. So Tyler looking to just get out of this with the 2 runs and avoid any further bleeding. Here comes the next pitch by him. Way outside, 2-1.
Yeah, it looks like he's reluctant to give it too much inside. I'm not sure if he's reading up on Campus or obviously batting number 5. You know that he can do some damage, and they want to not give him anything too easy to swing at. Let's see what this pitch is.
Here's the 2-1, swung on and missed. Count goes 2-2, and something that I like to mention, and you jokingly took the reference from me, got the triple deuce on the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tyler 1 strike away from ending the inning. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3, but Jamestown puts 2 runs on the board, and they're up 2-0 after 1 here at Dietrich.
Yes, indeed, Norm. 2-0 the call. We'll send it back to the station for a quick break and see you on the other side. More Tarp Skunk baseball to come on WRFA LP. And welcome back to Dietrich Park. Beginning inning number 2, the score 2-0. The Tarp Skunks taking an early lead against the Newark Pilots. We'll see what Newark can do to answer back here at the top of the second.
And speaking of that, it's going to be Given, Smitch, and Kopp. As the first one, a liner right to short. Tucker with the easy catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. And now it's going to be Derek Smitch, the DH.
Smitch batting left-handed for Newark here. Newark did get 1 hit last inning. They left 1 on base stranded. Now approaching the middle of the lineup, Smith batting 6th in the lineup.
And here's Perry's next pitch, and low and inside for ball 1. And it hasn't been updated, but once again, the count is 1-0. And here comes the next pitch on the way by Perry. Inside, 2-0. Maglio tried to frame it, but didn't get the call. Perry looking for that right side to at least get his discount to a 2-1 or an induced out number 2 as the next pitch is way outside 3-0.
Well, he finds himself quickly in the hole here with a 3-0 count against the batter, the DH, Derek Smith. We'll see what Perry can do to try to get back on the right side of things.
Well, here comes his next pitch, and right down Broadway, strike one. And now it's that green light hitter's count. And Perry will look to at least skip this to a full. And here's the next pitch by Perry. And that's going to go into the shallow outfield to center for a base hit.
Yeah, nice rip there right over the second baseman's head and dropping for a base hit. And with one out, just like last inning, the Pilots find themselves with a runner on first. We'll see what their extra hitter can do. This is number 22, Greg Kopp, who also bats left-handed with Smith now on first.
And this is the same situation Newark was in the first inning. A wild pitch got Whitley the second, but he got left stranded. Could have been the 8th guy in Gilligan's Island. But Perry's shaking off a couple of signs here by Maglio. He's wanting that right one to maybe induce a double play and get out of the top of the second. Here's Perry's next pitch. Just outside, 1-0.
Yeah, he threw it well outside here against Kopp.
Again, Kopp is the extra hitter.
Right fielder for the Skunks. Lane is pretty deep back there. He's only about maybe 15 feet from the warning track.
Well, here comes Perry's next pitch. That's in the dirt, 2-0. So again, Perry almost getting himself into another bit of the pickle situation here. He gets some grip on the baseballs. He slips his glove back on. Again, count 2-0. And the runner on first is Smitch, the DH. And just like catchers, DH is not really super known for stealing bases, and he doesn't have that much of a lead off first. Nothing to be concerned about. And here's Perry's next pitch on the way, and that's going to go foul into the back end of the ballpark for a 2-1 count.
Kopp also from Hamilton College. Several players from Hamilton College on this Newark Pilot roster.
So Perry cuts the count down to 2-1. And we got some gray skies here, but not too dark enough to where Mother Nature decides to cry and let it rain. And here's a 2-1 on the way. Oh, Maglio again tried to frame that, but count goes 3-1.
That was just on the edge of the plate, but the ump decides to call it out. If you look at the flag out there, Norm, it's blowing straight out of the ballpark.
Yes, it is.
Is that straight in? I think it's blowing straight out right now. So you give this a ride, that wind could take it a long way. That might explain why some of the outfielders are playing deeper than what I thought would be appropriate.
The wind's the best friend sometimes, but here's a 3-1 pitch. And ball 4, we're going to see, the bases umpire says that the Kopp did not go around, so he gets the free pass. Runners at first and second with just one out, and now it's going to be Kyle Wood, the shortstop.
Yeah, Kyle Wood, number 1 on his back, batting 8th in the lineup. The shortstop, right-handed, righty versus righty here, and we got a runner in scoring position. And the tying run on first. The score is 2-0. Jamestown leading Newark here in the top of the second inning with just one out, and now time is called on the field, and catcher Maglio comes out to talk things over with Travis Perry, tonight's pitcher for the Skunks.
And the good thing is for Perry, from first to third base, that's a force out at any of those three. So it could be a possible double play or just a force out at third to eliminate the runner being 90 feet closer to going just from third to home. But this is a fresh batter, fresh count on the board. Perry looking to get a double play or just a second out. Either one of them would be a big positive for him. Here's the next pitch on the way. Fouled off for strike 1.
Kyle Wood, by the way, the batter for Newark, comes from Onondaga Community College. He's just finished his freshman year there at school.
And so far this season, he's 1 for 6 at the plate. So he'll look for a second hit and possible RBI. If it goes deep enough, that runner from second could get that green light to head home. Here's Perry's next pitch. In the dirt, but Maglio, runner's heading for third. Maglio with a great throw. How about that for a second out? Maglio showing he's got a laser too, and if Campus needs that night off and just a DH, he's got a cannon also.
Great job by Maglio. He lost the handle on it. It hit the dirt, but he quickly picked it up and threw it over to third, getting the runner caught stealing. Just like the old Jane's Addiction song, Norm.
Yep, I requested a couple times for that to be on there for the caught stealing, even though the best part's Dave Navarro's guitar skills, but we got a 1-1 count, and the runner at first is Kopp. And this one's going to go over the second baseman's glove for a base hit. Runner advancing to third. And here comes a throw to the cutoff guy.
How important is that caught stealing then? The runner would have advanced all the way to home plate on that hit. Instead, we now have runners at the corners with 2 outs. And it's up to number 25, Matt Fabian, to try to drive in a run and cut into this 2-0 lead by the Tarp Skunks. But again, very important play at third base just moments ago, catching the runner stealing and preventing a run from coming across the plate to score, just in the very next swing.
Yep, and Perry's got the 2 outs. And no pun intended, Wood put some good wood on that ball at the bat, gets himself on first, gets Kopp 90 feet away from home plate, and a chance for them to cut their deficit in half. They're looking to get that bagel off the scoreboard. Perry looking to get out of this jam unscathed. Here's his next pitch. It's outside ball 1. Maglio, though, laser focus on the runners, and they both retreat. So far this inning, 2 hits and a walk for Newark. And they're looking to take advantage and get a run at least off this.
Fabian, the left fielder, typically plays infield. He's from Ithaca College. Ooh, they almost picked him off over at first, but he was able to get back on time. The runner at first, Kyle Wood. In the meantime, we have Greg Kopp now at third. Runners at the corners for Newark. 2 outs. Jamestown trying to get out of a bit of a jam here. They're up 2-0, though.
Yep, they're looking to seal that and save that for some PB&J sandwiches as the next pickoff just barely got back to first.
That was very close. You can tell that the Pew crew here wanted to see that be an out, and that was any closer, it may have been an out. Just got back in the nick of time.
Yep, gotta admire the Pew crew, but again, every time I hear the word Pew, it makes me want to go to church. But 1-0 count, Perry looking to get a force out or strikeout. Anyway, as long as he gets that 0 on the board, that is what would matter for him. He takes a check at third, pick off at first, and safe again. And from what we've seen, Wood has taken a decent lead off of first base.
Yeah, he's flirting with disaster over there, but I think what they're trying to do is hopefully to get the pitcher to make an errant throw over to first and advance that runner across the plate on third, rather than trying to do it the usual way with just getting the hit.
Yep, well, he's tight-roping it on the first baseline right now, but here comes the next pitch. Inside 2-0.
Obviously, it's important to keep him at first because that can get a force out if it's an infield hit and either first or second here.
Yeah, and that would eliminate the force out at second, like you said. Yeah.
Right, if he were to steal second, it takes away the force out. But sometimes you get so caught up thinking about those things, you lose your focus on the big picture. 2 outs already.
Yeah. And Wood's got that suicide lead again. Here's a pitch way outside, 3-0. It seems like Perry, from these pitches and with the runners at the corners, maybe the nerves are starting to rattle a little bit.
Well, yeah, he's just focused on, runners on the bags and not so 100% focused on the batter at the plate, at least from my perspective up here. What do I know?
It's a 3-0 count. Here's the next pitch. Strike 1. And that's a pitch Perry needed. But anyways, should Fabian get walked, the next batter will be Matt Kine, the first baseman, and he is on deck right now.
Patiently waiting, buying his time. In the meantime, we got the action here. 3-1's the count. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Top of the second inning, 2-0 the score. Tarp Skunks on top.
Here's another pickoff attempt, and again, barely got back in there. And he's got that suicide lead. He's showing that he wants to be that bit of a maverick, but he has yet to take off for second. And Perry looking to at least get this to a full count. He doesn't want to walk the batter and get the bases plugged up for a kind. Takes a check at third. Runner goes. And this is going to go into right field. And fielding it easily is going to be the right fielder Lane for the third out. So Perry gets through the second inning, and that's 1.5 here at Dietrich.
That is 1.5. We'll stay with you for this break and thank another one of our sponsors. Support for WRFA's coverage of Jamestown Tarp Skunk baseball for 2022 season is brought to you by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency. The Chautauqua County IDA is an economic development organization authorized and empowered by New York State to make Chautauqua County a better place to work, live, and visit. The IDA facilitates development by attracting new businesses while also promoting the retention and expansion of existing businesses. And it offers businesses assistance in the forms of tax abatements, low-interest loans, and bond financing, all of which enhance the opportunities for job creation and retention by local businesses. The Chautauqua County IDA, a proud supporter of Jamestown Tarp Skunk baseball on WRFA. For more information, call 716-661-8900 or visit ccida.com. With that being said, back to you, Norm.
Jason, thank you very much. As we're about to start the bottom of the second inning, Jamestown up 2-0 over the Newark Pilots. And the guy that caught the ball for the third out, he will coincidentally be the first one to come up the bat in the bottom of the second. It's going to be Brandon Lane, then Will Durrell, and then Dan Maglio. So that's the three of the first batters that we will see in the bottom of inning number 2, as the last warm-up pitch by Tyler in this inning is about to be thrown.
I also want to remind our listeners, this is an internship program we started last year to train college students in the ways of sports broadcasting the best we can. We've got 2 interns this year. We have who we introduced to our audience last Thursday. We had Jessica Beeler here in the studio with us, or I should say the press box. Tonight we have Max Pinjator. We'll be introducing Max in the middle of next inning, and Max is chomping at the bit to do some play-by-play as well. We're looking forward to working with him throughout the season. Sit tight, Max. In the meantime, he's giving our Twitter updates on social media.
And the next pitch by Tyler is fouled off for strike 1.
So that begins the at-bat here for Brandon Lane.
And here comes Tyler's next pitch, wasting no time. Low and inside, count goes even at 1s. And from what I saw, though, before he went up the bat, he did a little superstition similar to Luke Turner, but as his next pitch goes on, it's going to go to short. And he's winging it over to first in time. So a 6-3 ground out, and now it's going to be Will Durrell up the bat.
Will Durrell, the left fielder for the Skunks. He is from Flodar Tech Community College here in Jamestown for the summer. He bats left-handed, and maybe one of the few batters I've seen with a white helmet. Matches the uniform this evening.
Maybe he wants to be that black sheep, the one that sticks out in the crowd, in a good way, of course. Here's the next pitch by Tyler, and almost got him in the kneecaps, ball 1. Looked like an off-speed pitch there by Tyler, but couldn't get that lower control of it. And here's Tyler's next pitch. Just outside, 2-0.
We're in the bottom of the second inning on WRFALP 107.9 FM in Jamestown. And Norm Rodriguez with the play-by-play call here, along with yours truly, Jason Sample.
And here's the next pitch by Tyler. That's in the dirt, 3-0. So 1 ball away from getting that free pass and strutting to first. But this is that situation where you just take that pitch. Here's the next one by Tyler. Ball 4 gets walked on 4 pitches. So as the walk-up tune will get played for the walk, it's going to be Dan Maglio, the catcher, coming up the bat.
Maglio picking off a runner and keeping the game a shutout for all intents and purposes at the top of this inning. We'll see what he can do with his bat. Possibly advancing the runner on first, Will Durrell. Maglio batting right-handed. Did a fine job so far catching tonight. He comes from Monmouth.
Yep, and he also had an awesome walk-up as he came up, a little deep purple. The most common one, though, smoke on the water, as the first pitch was outside for ball 1. And stepping back into the box, Tyler about to throw his next pitch, and a decent lead off of first for Durrell, and he's taking off. It's a pickoff play. Can he get there in time? Yes, he will. Foot was off the bag, stolen base. Game one at home, they had 8 of them.
They could have had him had the throw from first to second been a little bit more accurate. It went wide left, and as a result, Durrell advances, and that takes away the double play opportunity and also puts him in scoring position, trying to add to this 2-0 lead for the Tarp Skunks here in the bottom of the second.
So looking to make it a 3-0 lead as Tyler takes a check at second, and Durrell playing a little mind games. The next pitch is outside for ball 2. 6 consecutive non-strikes thrown by Tyler.
Yeah, I was just going to make note of that, Norm. Good call there. Tyler trying to get back in the accuracy zone area and throw one down the middle. We'll see what he does here.
Just one call to strike for him would be a start. Runner goes. He's taking off for third. Can he get there in time? He's safe. Got the foot in the bag long before the ball was thrown over to Morgan. And third base, that's one of the most difficult ones to steal.
Yeah, Durrell now just 90 feet away from making this a 3-0 ball game. Aggressive base running. We've seen it all the time with the Tarp Skunks. Last year it was the name of the game, and it appears to be the philosophy of Coach Bazil this year as well.
2-1 pitch on the way. That's going to go to second. Oh, he bobbled it. Juggled the ball, and that's going to be an E4.
Yeah, E4 and an RBI for Maglio, who is now safely on first. Durrell crosses the plate. It's now 3-0. Jamestown leading the Newark Pilots here in the bottom of the second. And now we have a meeting of the minds. The coach for Newark comes on out to talk things over. Brian Griesman, the head coach for Newark. We'll see, Norm, if they decide to take a break and bring in a reliever. They got somebody warming up over there in the bullpen.
Yep, I wonder if they're also doing a platoon system similar to Olean.
Well, Olean was a non-league game, so
true,
I think they just wanted to give everybody an opportunity to get some throws in there. But now it counts, and you want to keep your pitcher in there. You want to go with the starter as long as possible, and I'm sure that's all you want to do is calm him down and tell him, hey, let's do what you were doing during college and take it one pitch at a time. And meanwhile, we're down to the 9th batter in the lineup, Henry Martinez. He bats left-handed for the Skunks, center fielder.
And he's got a great walk-up song as well. It's Jerry Rafferty, but it's not Baker Street. It's right down the line. And let's see if he can hit one right down the line and advance the runner. He's going to bunt one down the third base line. Can he beat it out? And he will. Beats it out by a long shot. How about runners at first and second? And they've got one hit more than they had in their last home game.
Yes, they do, Norm. And runners, like I said, at first and second. Henry Martinez didn't take long to find the pitch he liked and hit it there. Now we're at the bottom of the lineup. Shortstop Mark Tucker, who had a great game on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. I think he scored 3 runs.
Yep. And counting the postseason last year, he batted .293 and led the team with 32 RBIs. As here's the next pitch, outside corner for strike 1.
Tucker from North Georgia, another return player from last season. Several familiar names for us up here. Makes it easy.
Taking a check at second. Already they've allowed 2 stolen bases. Here's the next pitch. It's going to be a grounder. And going to right field, a base hit. Bazil sending Maglio home. Can he get there in time? Yes, he will.
Yeah, they didn't even bother throwing it at home to try to force the play. So Maglio comes all the way around from second to score the second run this inning, the 4th in the ball game for the Skunks. And Martinez is now at second. Tucker gets the base hit, moves on to first base. We're back to the top of the lineup. Yogi Hardigan there. He walked on his, he got a base hit his first time at the plate, and now he has an opportunity to drive in a few runs if he can get a base hit here.
And speaking of that, he scored a run in the first inning, one of the 2.
Yeah, scored the first run of the ball game.
And it's a double situation here. 2 runs on 1 hit in their first home game. Right now, 4 runs on what should be 3 hits. But here's the next pitch on the way. Swung on and missed for strike 1, and it hit the dirt. Maybe that's the type of a pitch Tyler needed for a strike. He has been in trouble a couple of times, and so far, 4 runs allowed in just 1 1/3 innings pitch. And again, there is a pitcher warming up in the bullpen for the Pilots. And here comes the next pitch, a pickoff attempt. And sometimes when you go back to second, you got to be careful because if you start-stop, that's a balk.
Well, the umpire's right behind the pitcher, keeping a close eye on where his foot is at on the rubber. And as long as he keeps it planted, we should be good.
Here's the 0-1. Oh, low, 1-1. I thought he was calling that a strike for a moment.
Yeah, that was a 50-50 call there as far as I'm concerned, but the umpire went with the ball. 1-1 and 1 out.
A la the triple stick, my friend. Here comes the next pitch, but it's going to be a check on second base. And the runners right now, Martinez at second and Tucker on first.
Well, after Maglio stole third base there earlier, or Durrell rather stole third base, I think it's got, there we go, another attempt to steal, and they got him easily that time.
Yep, got caught.
Good job by Tyler picking him off at third, and that's now 2 away with Martinez trying to steal third and got a little too aggressive there and forces the second out of the game. Tucker, meanwhile, still at first.
And here's some off speed. That was a thing of beauty right there. Probably the best pitch he's thrown so far in this start. 1-2. So 1 strike away from ending the second inning. So far, 2 runs in each of the first 2 for the Skunks. And here's the next pitch. Chopper to first. Goes right into the glove of Werner, and he'll just tap on the bag. Excuse me, that was Kine for the out, and that completes 2 here. Jamestown up by 4.
Yeah, completes 2, but after 2 runs are scored, 1 runner left on base, and as Norm noted, the score is 4-0 after 2 complete innings of play. We'll take a break and have more baseball in a moment right here on WRFA. Welcome back to Dietrich Park. Jason Sample, Norm Rodriguez here in the press box along with Max Pinjator. We'll be introducing Max at the end of this top of the 3rd inning. The score after 2 innings of play, the host team, Jamestown Tarp Skunks, leading the Newark Pilots 4-0 after Jamestown was able to get 2 runs there in the second to go along with 2 runs in the first. And now we're back to the action. Travis Perry still pitching for the Skunks. He's squaring off against number 20, Matt Kine.
And here comes Perry's first pitch to start the 3rd. Outside corner, strike 1, and so far we're about to start the 3rd part of the game. 1/3 of the 3rd, which has gone by real quick so far. But here's Perry's next pitch. Another beautiful one. Strike 2 at the heart of the plate.
Quickly up on the count, 0-2 here. He's got plenty of options and what he wants to throw, and none of it needs to be pretty.
As long as it's swung on and missed or it hits the zone. Looking for his first strikeout since the first batter of the game, and a foul ball. Count goes remaining 0-2. So far, Perry having a fair performance. 2 scoreless innings, 1 strikeout, 3 hits allowed. Here's his next pitch.
Ooh.
Inside, and almost got him in that elbow guard, but he's still ahead in the count, 1-2.
Yeah, that was well inside there. Kine did everything he could just to spin his back toward it and got out of the way just in time.
So 1-2 pitch on the way by Perry. In the dirt, count goes even 2-2, and Kine doing well, making Perry work for this out. But I'm sure he also wants to get on base and start a rally. They're already in a 4-run hole. Same token, 4-run deficit is not insurmountable by any means. Here's the next pitch, fouled off, and the count stays the same in the words of Bob Seeger, 2-2. So Perry getting a little bit of the rosin to strengthen the grip with his palm on the ball. So far, 4 runs on 3 hits for Jamestown. No runs and 3 hits for Newark as the 2-2 is on the way. And that's going to go through third and the left for a base hit.
Yeah, the first baseman from Hamilton College got a hold of that one and ripped it right out to left field. And he finds himself safely at first with no outs here. That is the 4th hit of the ball game for the Newark Pilots. And now we're back to the top of the order. T.J. Werner back at the plate, the second baseman. He struck out looking his first appearance.
And so far, he's the only victim of the K by any of the batters for Newark, as the next pitch is high and outside for ball 1. And again, Kine the runner at first. Doesn't have a super big lead off of first base, but he does also have that oven mitt looking thing on his hand to avoid jam fingers, as a pitch out attempt it looked like. But it's a good thing for Werner because he's now heading the count 2-0. Werner back in the box, and his back foot dangerously close to that white line. Doesn't want it to go past that, or else it's an automatic out. Here's Perry's next pitch, and he gives that one a good ride to left field, and it's going to go into the gap for a base hit. This could be a 2-bagger. He's going to try and extend this to a double, and he will get there. So best start of any of the innings so far for Newark. Runners on second and third. Nobody out, and now it's going to be Aaron Whitley, who had a single in his first at-bat.
Yeah, Whitley now has a chance to drive in a couple of runs if he can do what he did back in the first inning when he got that base hit. Of course, Newark now cooking with gas. They've had runners on before. They left 1 on base in the first, and they left 2 stranded in the second. But, of course, they had some outs working against their favor. No outs this time with runners in scoring position, second and third base here in the top of the third, trailing by 4 runs against Jamestown, trying to cut into that lead.
Here's the next pitch by Perry, outside corner, strike 1, and that's the first hit of the game by either team. That was an extra base hit. All the others have been the 1-bagger, as Perry gets a strike on this first pitch. Maybe that's what he needs to build it back together to get another 0 on the board. But even a good sac fly can get Kine home and get them a run on. Perry taking a check. Here's the next pitch. Low and outside. Count goes even at 1s. Newark already with 5 hits in 2 innings. And right now they're looking to get something to show for it with a good sac fly or a deep enough hit to drive in both runners. Perry gets his sign from Maglio, and he comes set. He takes a quick check at third, and here's his next pitch. In the dirt, but Maglio, a good job blocking it, and so far, him behind the plate, he's done very well, giving Campus a night off from behind the plate.
Yeah, it looks like the Skunks have a couple of good backstops this season. They did last year as well, but, of course, Campus returning this year. And Maglio, the new addition to the team for 2022.
Yep, and his backup last year was Colby Avon. But here's the next pitch, 2-1 count. And that's going to go over the second baseman's glove of Johnson, a base hit. Both runners getting sent home. 1 run will score. And just like that, the deficit's cut in half to 4-2. This time, Newark does take advantage of the runners on base. That is their 3rd hit of the inning, and this time, runs are on the board.
3 consecutive hits as well. Obviously, Travis Perry needs to settle down a little bit here. I don't see any action over in the Skunks bullpen, so I'll let it ride. Of course, he's got a 2-run lead still with a runner at first, but no outs here. And finally, the Pilots are able to capitalize. And now we do have a little bit of a break in action as the team comes into the infield for a quick huddle, probably just to calm him down a bit, try to settle things for him before he gets ready to go here again. We'll see if they decide to bring anybody in or not, but it appears
they do got someone warming up now, it looks like. Looks like someone's about to get up off of his seat and start pitching. And the next batter up would be Ty Morgan. In his first at-bat, he popped out to short. And while we wait, how about another little walk into the time machine? A one-hit wonder, the Nax My Sharona. And the umpire going into the mound to say this has to conclude. Next three batters will be Morgan, Goods, and Gibbon.
Yeah, he's being polite, but he's standing there looming, and now they break it up. And we're back to the action here. So, some excitement here in the top of the third inning. Newark Pilots getting 3 consecutive hits, scoring 2 runs, still no outs, and a runner at first base. And the tying run is now at the plate. Ty Morgan, who, as Norm noted, flew out to shortstop his first time at bat. Looking to advance the runner at first, Aaron Whitley. Meanwhile, starting pitcher Travis Perry trying to settle back into a groove here and get out of this inning.
He tries to pick off, but back in safely. Again, that was Whitley, and like you said, 3 consecutive hits allowed to start the inning here for Perry. But the good news is Jamestown is still ahead 4-2. Here's the next pitch. High and outside, ball 1. So Perry gets back into the mound. So a bit of a reverse double up here on both teams. 2 runs, 6 hits for Newark, 4 runs, 3 hits for Jamestown. The next pitch hits the outside corner for a strike, so the count will go even at 1-1. So Morgan steps back into the box. Whitley with a good lead off of first base. Another pickoff, but back in safely is Whitley.
Nice turnout tonight here on a Monday night at the ballpark. Of course, they have a promotion that encourages folks to come in at an affordable price. And
$2 night.
That's all part of the deal.
$2 bleacher tickets along with popcorn and drinks. As the next pitch was called for a strike, making it 1-2. So again, the board that we've got from what we see, it's incorrect. It's 1-2. So a first out would be big for Perry, but I'm sure he'd also want that double play. Here's the next pitch, and that's going to be a chopper right to the pitcher. It is fair. Not in time. Runner safe. 4 consecutive base hits allowed by Perry to start the inning.
Yeah, that's not good for your morale, obviously, with another runner in scoring position. The tying run now at first, no outs, and Dan Gudez steps up to the plate, the right fielder. Grounded out to the pitcher. The first time he was at bat in the first inning. He's got a chance to make up for that, batting left-handed here.
Yep, that was the 1-3 ground out, and the good news is, though, for Perry, again, first to third, it's a force at any of the bases.
Well, a double play could really help the team out right now.
Bunt, but aborted. Even so, it hit more than enough of the plate for strike 1.
Yeah, they're looking to hit a sacrifice here and just try to advance both runners and get them both in scoring position. Especially with no outs, that's basically the strategy to follow. We'll see if he shows bunt again here on the 0-1 count.
Perry taking a check at the bases. Here's the pitch. Swung on, missed, 0-2.
Yeah, he swung hard at that one, so a total change up from the previous effort. Now the Skunks trying to get the first out of the third inning here. Runners at first and second. They've already given up 2 runs, 4 consecutive hits. They're still leading 4-2 in the top of the third inning.
Yep, but the hits from Newark are getting concerningly high as they've got 7 now. Next pitch is high for ball 1, however. Perry's still heading the count 1-2. A first out would be huge here for Perry. After Goods, it's going to be given the catcher up the bat. It's a 1-2 count. Perry taking a long look at the signs, see what one he wants. He's got it. Takes a double check at second. Here's the pitch. Outside, the count goes even. So the Newark batters are doing a pretty good job this inning, making Perry work and making his pitch count go even higher.
Yeah, we don't have a pitch count here, and it's hard to keep track of a lot of times, Norm, so it's not like we exactly know here. It's just Norm and I up here along with Max, who's doing a great job with our post and all that, but I'm sure somebody's keeping track of the pitch count somewhere, and it's high.
Yep.
You know, that's all we can say about that.
Here's a 2-2. Count goes full, 3-2. And should he get walked, this will be a big advantage for Newark. Bases loaded and nobody out.
Yeah, this is do or die time for Perry here. If he doesn't strike him out, I have a feeling that he'll be walking off the field here, and it'll be up to the relievers. Looks like they have one of them warming up. That'd be number 9.
That's Bryce Jackson.
Bryce Jackson there, who possibly could be coming in here depending on what the outcome of this next pitch is.
And here it comes. Inside ball 4. The bases are jammed up. Nobody out. 5 straight batters get on base, but the first one that's not a base hit in this inning. And now it's going to be Jake Given, the catcher, up the bat. And I wonder if this could be the beginning of the end of this start here for Perry.
And they're still leaving him in here. They're not going to take him off. He got into this jam. They're going to ask him to try to get out of it here. And it starts with this batter, Jake Given. 4 consecutive hits and a walk, no outs, 4-2 the score, top of the 3rd inning. Tarp Skunks leading, but for how long?
Next pitch hits the outside corner for strike 1. The good news is, though, for Given, a good base hit. 2 runners could score, and we may have a tie game here. Perry shaking off a couple of signs. Looking to just get out of this jam, and again, even though the bases are loaded, it's now a force at any of the bases. And this isn't a bad situation, as this is fouled off for strike 2.
Yeah, you know, you get the right situation. You can get 2 outs and quickly get out of a jam if you can get that 3rd out. But it all starts right here against this batter, Given. Batting number 5 in the lineup, the catcher. He flew out the shortstop the last time he was up in the 2nd inning to lead off the 2nd inning.
Yep, so 0-2 counting for Perry. Here's the next pitch. Swung on, and this could be a double play. 6, 4, not quite. Called safe. They do get 1 out. However, a run does score. It cuts the deficit to 1, 4-3, and now it's going to be Smitch, the DH.
Yeah, that was Aaron Whitley who crossed the bag to make it 4-3, and Ty Morgan advanced to 3rd. Gudez out at 2nd, and now Given on the fielder's choice is at 1st. 1 out away. Tarp Skunks now clinging to a precarious 1-run lead with runners at the corner and 1 out. 4-3 the score here in the top of the 3rd inning.
And a sac fly could tie this baby up at 4. Here's the next pitch. Low ball 1. So it went from 4-0 to 4-3 here in just a 1/3 of an inning. As Perry gets his sign and comes set. Here's his next pitch. Runner goes to second base, and they're just going to let him take off.
Yeah, Maglio just framed that. He did get the strike. Derek Smith, by the way, got a base hit in the 2nd inning. He was caught stealing to make the 2nd out in the 2nd inning, but now we have runners in scoring position. Tying run at 3rd, the go-ahead run at 2nd, 1 out here. Left-handed hitter at the plate, Smith.
And a good base hit could give Newark their first lead of the game as the next pitch is low inside for a 1-1 count. And it is Morgan at 3rd base, and it's Given at 2nd. So those are 2 base runners. So far, 3 runs on 4 hits in this inning for Newark as they cut their deficit from a 4-run to a 1-run. A sac fly can tie the game. A good base hit can give them the lead. Taking a check at 3rd. Here's Perry's next pitch. And this will... Oh, nice catch there by Tucker. That's a big out, number 2. And now it's going to be Kopp, the extra hitter.
Tucker has looked great at shortstop this season. We saw that on Thursday night with some nice plays, and then we see it there getting some air, launching himself up there, climbing the ladder and pulling down that hit for the 2nd out. And now the Jammers can get out of this one still with a lead, but it all starts here against this next batter, Greg Kopp, the extra hitter who walked back in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, and he got left stranded at 3rd base. So 2 outs here, 4-3 still the score. Given at 2nd and Morgan at 3rd. Perry looking to just end the damage with a time called. And besides Kopp were 2 more batters away from about nearly getting everybody in the rotation one at bat in this half inning. Perry takes a check at Morgan. Here's the pitch. Low and outside, ball 1.
Maglio doing a great job catching, keeping every pitch in front of him for the most part. I think he had 1 pass pitch in the first inning.
So count 1-0. Perry gets his sign and comes set at the belt. Looking to get out of this inning with the lead still intact as he hits the outside corner. Count goes even, 1-1.
That was another one of those 50-50 pitches, Norm. It could have gone either way, but the umpire calls that one a strike, giving us the 1-1 count with 2 outs here. Top of the 3rd inning. Tarp Skunks leading 4-3, but 2 Newark runners in scoring position.
And Perry looking to end the inning with still the lead intact. Here's his next pitch. That one in the dirt, 2-1, and he tells the runners to hold off.
Very patient batters here for Newark. I mean,
That's what
like
I've
we
seen.
said, that pitch count for Perry has got to be
I got to say
up
60
in
or
the,
70.
yeah, I was going to say in the upper 50s to 60s at this point. We're only in the 3rd inning. But they really pick and choose what they swing at.
And here's a chopper, and it's going to go to center field for a base hit. Both runners getting sent home. And just like that, Newark's going to have their first lead of the game. 5 runs on 5 hits alone in the top of the 3rd for Newark. And almost looks like the Jamestown Bridge is starting to fall down here in this inning.
Well, that's the way the ball game goes. You know, you're going to have these back-and-forth battles, and it'll be up to the Skunks bats to answer the call. But first, they got to get out of this long top of the 3rd inning. We're almost around the order here. The bottom of the order, the 10th hitter, started the inning. We're up to number 8 now.
We may have a change here, Jason.
And it appears if they go to the mound twice in 1 inning, I think that does mean an automatic change.
And again, it was Bryce Jackson, and it's indeed going to be a pitching change here. From what we saw was number 9, Bryce Jackson, another local kid, pitched for SUNY JCC, and it is indeed him. And he will prepare to throw some warm-up pitches.
Well, with that being said, we have ourselves a pitching change here. We'll stay with you for this one here. I mentioned that we'll introduce our intern in the middle of the inning, but since we're waiting for the new pitcher to take some swings, we'll introduce our intern now. We have Max Pinchator. Max, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for helping us out this season.
Oh, glad to do it.
So typically we want to remind our listeners that this is an intern program in addition to providing some quality baseball coverage on WRFA, at least for all the home games. And it starts, of course, with bringing in some students who are studying, but interestingly enough, you're not a broadcaster, even a journalism major, right?
No, I am not.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and what are you studying at JCC?
So I'm from Cassadaga, which is a good 20 miles north of Jamestown, which is JCC. I am currently studying criminal justice at JCC because they have a pretty good criminal justice program led by Brian Bro.
Yes, they do. So obviously, criminal justice, a lofty profession to pursue. Good for you for that. So what made you decide to possibly try your hand at some broadcasting and helping us out here with our internship?
I've always loved baseball. I've played it since I was like 5. Never played t-ball though because my dad wouldn't let me because it was basically cheating. But I mean, I just always loved baseball. I think I would be good at it because I know everything about baseball. Did you know that if a fielder throws their glove at a baseball, at a batted ball, and it hits the ball, it's a triple?
Really?
Yeah, an
Wow.
automatic triple.
Do the umpires know that is my question?
Probably not.
That's
but I
something they
was
would
able
need to
tell.
know if they want to umpire a game.
Oh, yeah.
So you have a lot of knowledge about the game. You're very familiar with it, obviously. You have some talents as well. You do photography. You're going to be taking some pictures and posting them on our social media page. Thank you very much for that. And obviously you're here to help us follow the game. We'll probably let you sit in on a few innings. I'll get out of the way and let you and Norm do your thing, perhaps even later on tonight. But in the meantime, we're about ready to get action back to the field. I'll leave your mic up, though, Max, in case you want to chime in for anything, all right?
Sure.
Well, right now it's going to be Kyle Wood up the bat, and this will be Bryce Jackson's first appearance at home for the Skunks this season. He does have an inherited base runner, so should that run score, it will be charged to Perry. But we have a chance for a double play here. 5. No, he's going to go for the, I beg your pardon, it was 2 outs. Case of forgetting the number of outs, but that does happen sometimes. But Newark puts a huge dent on the board. They take the lead 5-4 after 2.5.
Yes, they do. We'll stay with you for this break, and we will thank another one of our sponsors. Hey, support for WRFA's coverage of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks is brought to you in part by Reg LeMay Center for the Arts. Reg LeMay Center for the Arts, located in the heart of downtown Jamestown at 116 East 3rd Street. It's the broadcast license holder for WRFA, and more than just a theater, the Reg LeMay offers comprehensive programming that inspires, educates, and empowers the community. Reg LeMay also offers rentals of its facilities to the public, providing spaces for small groups or hundreds of attendees. Rental arrangements can be made for parties, receptions, meetings, retreats, and live concerts and performances. The popular Movies at the Reg series is also available twice a week, offering a safe and comfortable environment for patrons to watch a wide variety of films, with food and beverages also available. For more information, visit reglenay.com or call 716-664-2465. Back to you, Norm.
Jason, as always, thank you very much as we're about to get the Skunks up the bat here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. But Newark had, in the words of the Beatles on their album, Let It Be.
Maybe give the Skunks some luck, and we're going to let Max sit in here and call some of the game with you, Norm.
That sounds good as the next pitch hits the inside corner for an 0-2 count. And so Newark, it'll be a chopper over to second. And that's going to be a 4-3 ground out. And up next to bat's going to be Cody Bay.
That one looked to have a couple of rough bounces up to the second baseman, but he looked like he had a nice golden glove out there.
Yeah, sometimes these fielders, you got to dip that into 24K gold. As Bay, he had a sac bunt in his first at bat to advance the runners 90 feet. But he'll look to get a hit right here.
Hits are always good.
Getting on base is always good, whether it's a hit, an error, a walk. It doesn't have to be pretty. But here's the next pitch. Outside corner for strike 1.
That looked to be a little bit outside, but who am I? I'm just an intern, right?
Well, the umps have the better view, but the press box, best spot in the house here at Dietrich, as the next pitch is on the way by Tyler. Off speed, but it was way outside. Count goes even at 1s.
What do you say? I'd like to see a home run this game. What'd you think?
We had quite a few in this park last year, and this is one of the toughest ones to hit one in the PGCBL, as the next pitch is fouled off for strike 2 and near the souvenir area of Dietrich.
Yeah, I was out there last season, and I caught one foul ball back there in the souvenir area.
Yep. And I was right here calling games with one of our old interns, Dan Millay. But 1-2 on the way here for Tyler. Here comes his next pitch. Outside. Count goes even at 2s.
Nice eye out there. I used to always say 20/20 vision when I was in the dugout. Can't
Sometimes
really
you got to have
now.
that.
Yeah.
But 2-2 on the way here for Tyler. Swung on it, missed for strike 3. So now it's going to be Patrick O'Shaughnessy coming up the bat.
Those high fastballs are always tempting to look at when you're batting. I know when I played, I succumbed to those pitches way too many times, and I am not happy about that, but high velocity, high elevation are always tempting.
Yeah, but you also got to admire a batter that's not afraid to swing the bat.
Of course.
And right now it's Patrick O'Shaughnessy up the bat, and he's one of those guys, as this pitch hits the heart of the plate for strike 1. O'Shaughnessy, he was part of the Skunks last season. Very patient batter. Very difficult to strike out. His walk to strikeout ratio was almost 4-1 as the next pitch is on the way. And high and nearly got him in the helmet, but the count goes 1-1. He had 39 walks. He struck out only 10 times.
That's crazy. That's something I could never do.
He's very patient at the plate. Here's the next pitch. Inside 3-0, and should he get walked, the DH, Johnny Campus, would be up the bat next. And last season, O'Shaughnessy was number 19, but with Jordan King having that number this year, he's number 10. Next pitch, chopped foul for strike 1.
Strike 2, sir.
I beg your pardon, strike 2.
Looked like he was trying to go for that front door curveball to get him to strike 2, but it worked out anyways.
Well, here comes the next pitch on the way by Tyler, and that hit him. So now it will be Campus getting the night off as a catcher, but he is DHing, and he struck out in his first at-bat.
That had to hurt, to be honest. It was off speed, but they never feel good, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, not to go into left field here, but with the Blue Jays having 3 pitchers and with their 3 players with their dads being former players, one of them, Kevin Biggio, Craig Biggio. Craig was hit the most times by pitches by any batter in MLB history.
Really?
287 times. Got drafted as a catcher, then got shifted over to second base, played outfield.
I can't say that would be a fun career.
But there's going to be a pitching change here for the Newark Pilots. So that's the end of the night for Henry Tyler, and it's been a batter's duel here. Runs galore, just like a cash register at any local supermarket. But we're trying to get the view of the jersey number of the new Newark pitcher. It looked like it was in the 30s from what I saw. It looks like it's 36. And if that's the case, it's Quinn Ignazek. And I beg your pardon, it's 33. It's Chris Lowe. He's a right-handed sophomore from Chatham, New Jersey, and he goes to Emerson College. So both teams with very early pitching changes. And both lasting 2 2/3 innings each.
I don't know if I saw this right, but on that first pitch, it looked to be a bit sidearm, and yes, it is. I would say
Yeah, a bit
10
sidearm.
o'clock, 10 o'clock window there. I always hated batting against 10 o'clock windows.
It's a bit of a semi-sidearm, not quite like the pitching of Darren O'Day, but also not quite like the pitching of Dan Quisenberry.
Of course, yeah. But now that we have a right-handed pitcher, it seems that the Jamestown Tarp Skunks probably will be a lot more comfortable as they're batting, and also on the base paths. I saw in the beginning, and especially like in the first inning, the runners were very hesitant to take a big lead off of first base. In fact, when he started to pitch, they jumped back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're a
always
lefty,
scary.
you're looking right at the base runner.
Yeah.
And again, in the first home game, unfortunately you weren't here for it, but the Skunks had 8 stolen bases. They converted 8 out of 9. Again, they're a team that love to pilfer those bases, just like the days of Ricky Henderson and Rock Raines. But right now it's going to be Campus up to bat as he was continuing in at bat after O'Shaughnessy got hit by a pitch to keep the bottom of the 3rd inning alive. So Campus is going to take a couple practice cuts and step into the box.
All right, pitching from the stretch to start off his outing. Not so fun, to be honest.
Well, sometimes you got to deal with those inherited base runners. Runner goes, and he's headed for second. Can he get there? No, tagged out. Got caught stealing, and that completes 3 innings here at Dietrich.
And after 3 innings of play, we'll send it back to the studio. We'll be back in just a moment with more Tarp Skunk baseball on WRFA LP.
Come on out, gentlemen. How you doing? What's your name? Where are you from, Jason? Jamestown. You ever played deal or no deal before? Okay, well, unfortunately, these aren't very winning, but you got the idea. You have 4 cases in front of you, 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's prizes there, or I got tickets to a future game and a great book about baseball from Jamestown. Which one would you like? You're gonna pick. Number 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which one would you like? Number 3. Number 3. You want to open up number 3 for us? Let's see what you got. You have got 1 pair of Tarp Skunks tickets. You missed the Lamborghini by 1 box. It was number 4. I can't show you that though. Congratulations. We're going to get you your tickets. All right, gentlemen. Thank you.
I'm sorry?
Is yours or mine?
That was yours. I just shifted over so I could have a piece. And welcome back, Jamestown Tarp Skunks fans. Again, we are right here on 107.9 WRFALP here in Jamestown. Tarp Skunks down 5-4, and Bryce Jackson going to get some more work on the mound coming in the last inning in place of Travis Perry. And Newark will look to follow up a 5-run, 6-hit inning and extend their lead as they're up by 1, 5-4. And a swing and a miss to start the at-bat for Smitch. It's going to be him, Kopp, and then Wood. Oh, no, excuse me, that's Matt Fabian. It'll be him, then Kine. Then we're back to the top of the lineup with Werner as the next pitch hits the outside corner for strike 2.
Batting from an 0-2 count is never fun. I can promise you that. You have to be mindful of the fastball inside and the curveball outside.
Got to be ready for anything. Here's the next pitch by Jackson. In the dirt, 1-2.
Nice little waist pitch there, trying to get him to chase and give the catcher some action, throwing down to first for the drop third strike.
And not a bad situation at the end of the world. Jackson is still ahead in the count. Here's the next pitch. And that's another low one. The count goes even. Count goes to the double deuce 2-2. Fabian takes a practice cut and is back in the box. Here's the next pitch by Jackson. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Jackson with his first strikeout of the game, as it will be Matt Kine, who started the fireworks in the top of the third for Newark.
Call that a strikeout and a 2-3 putout with the drop third strike, as I said, with the 1-2 count.
So Kine, he had a single and a run scored in his first at-bat, which was in the third inning. Jackson looking to keep his momentum going as he gets what the sign he wants in the next pitch on the way. And in the dirt, ball 1, but luckily no runners on base.
A lot of these colleges in the area actually bring in hockey goaltenders to teach their catchers how to be a good backstop.
And also to probably get a feel of the ball as the next pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. And we got that triple stick, 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out as Jackson prepares to throw his next pitch. Gets the sign he wants from Maglio, and here is the delivery. Outside, 2-1.
Trying to keep the lead at 1, Bryce Jackson is. A lot easier said than done.
Yep, sometimes everybody's working. 2-1 pitch on the way outside, 3-1. So Jackson will look to at least get this to a full count. And I talked about this to Jason earlier in the game. When it's 3-1, it's that green light. If it's a pitch you like, swing it. And he'll chop it foul, and also hit off his shin guard, so the count goes full.
Done that way too many times in batting practice. It hurts.
I bet if it's like a 95-mile-an-hour ball.
I never wore shin guards, too. Oh, man.
So that's grit. So we got a bit of the final countdown here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and just 1 out.
I like that.
Jackson looking for the punch out. Here's the pitch. Caught it, looking strike 3 on the the outside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts by the JCC college pitcher Bryce Jackson. And now back up the bat, the top of the order, TJ Werner, who hit a double in his last at-bat.
Not only is he getting swing and misses, he's also freezing people with his lethal curveball. But I think that time it was a fastball that looked to be a little bit outside, but it caught the black.
And here comes the next pitch. Jackson looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Werner wanted to bunt, but even if he would have aborted it, it hit that hard of the plate.
That's just bad bat-to-ball contact there. Happens to the best of us.
Even the best bunters miss or they go way foul. But here's the next pitch by Jackson. Swung on and missed for strike 2. So 1 strike away from a 1-2-3 inning.
It looked there like he was trying to put the ball over the fence and get a home run that I was talking about earlier. But situational baseball says just keep the lineup moving.
So 1 strike away from the first 1-2-3 inning of the night for Jamestown. It's outside, 1-2. And Jackson will step back onto the rubber. Werner looking to extend the inning. Again, his last at-bat, he had a double and a run scored in the 5-run third. Here's the next pitch. Fouled off, and the count stays the same. And from what I've seen so far, these Newark batters, along with Jackson and Perry, they've done a real good job extending at-bats and making them work to get these outs.
Fighting to get a good at-bat is always good.
Well, here's the 1-2, and that's in the dirt. Count goes even.
Plate discipline is probably priority number 1 for these Newark batters.
And should Werner get on base by any means, Aaron Whitley would be the next batter up. He had a 2 RBI single in his last at-bat. Here's the pitch. Swung on this, strike 3, and here comes another throw to first, and that's the first 1-2-3 inning of the game for the Tarp Skunks, and that concludes 3.5 here at Dietrich.
And we'll stay with you for this break. A reminder, support for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks on WRFA Radio is brought to you in part by businesses and listeners like you. WRFA is a non-commercial, non-profit community radio station that relies on voluntary contributions and donations from the listening community to keep our programs on the air. If you appreciate and enjoy the broadcast or any other program available on WRFA, consider making a donation of any amount by clicking the donate button at our website, WRFALP.com. It's fast and easy. Checks of any amount can also be mailed out to WRFA Radio and mailed to the radio station at 116 East 3rd Street, Jamestown, New York, 14701. Local businesses are also encouraged to sponsor programming on WRFA. To learn more about becoming an underwriter for broadcasts of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks or any other program on WRFA, call 716-664-2465, extension 209, or email wrfa@regina.com. Also a reminder that this Thursday, WRFA will be participating in the countywide fundraiser Give Big CHQ. You can donate to the radio station using the Give Big CHQ page. Look up WRFA, and any amount is appreciated. And we will also leverage that donation money for some other funding from the foundations in our area as well. So please consider giving and giving to WRFA during Give Big CHQ this Thursday. Back to you, Norm.
Again, as always, Jason, thank you very much as Campus is back up to bat. He was up to bat in the last half inning. However, O'Shaughnessy got caught stealing, so he is back up again. And I'm not alone, even though Jason's backed up a little bit. I'm along with Max Pinjator as Campus gives us a good, decent ride to center, but too much hang time. Fly out to center for the first out.
In those dog days of summer that's coming up soon in July, that might have gone a little bit further, but because of the wet air, it really does just stop in the middle of the air, doesn't it, Norm?
Yeah, it does. And up next is Brandon Lane, the right fielder. He was the victim of a 6-3 ground out his first at-bat, and he does a superstition similar to a Tarp Skunk player from last year. Before he walks into the box, he draws a cross on the dirt with his bat. As the first pitch he takes it to the outside corner for strike one. A batter that did that last year for the Skunks, you said he went to a couple games, Luke Turner.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
He was known for the Shane McMahon walk-up and did very well for the Skunks, but on to bigger and bigger things as the next pitch is on the way by Lowe, who's getting another inning of work here for the Pilots. It was outside. The count goes even at ones. So a case of the double potato stick on the board as the next pitch is on the way by Lowe. And another decent ride to left center field, but again, way too much hang time, just like a punt at the home of the Dallas Cowboys. So this time it's a fly out the left for the second out, and now it'll be Will Durrell, the left fielder.
Let's see if we can get the trifecta, fly out to right. Hopefully not, but maybe.
The holy trinity of flyouts to the outfield, except we don't need Al from Angels in the outfield. So Durrell looking to extend this inning. He got walked in his first at-bat. He stole second and third, and then he scored a run that was back in the second inning. And here's Lowe's next pitch, and it's to left field. Is it going to drop? Yes, it will. Base hit. And Durrell, he's going to try to go for a double here, and he's going to be safe. Oh, lost ball. Can he get back in time? And he's out. Overslid the base. A juggled ball. Tried going back, but when you overslide, you're still prone to a tag out. He's slow to get up, but again, that's going to conclude 4 innings here at Dietrich Park. Score 5-4 in favor of Newark. But stick around for more Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball right here on WRFA.
And welcome back to Dietrich Park. Jason Sample, Norm Rodriguez, and Max Pinchator bringing you Tarp Skunk Baseball on WRFA LP 107.9 FM in Jamestown, New York. Happy to have you with us. Max is updating our Twitter page, so if you want to keep up with the Skunks throughout the season, you can do so in numerous ways, including following us on social media on our Twitter account, obviously tuning in during the live broadcast right here on 107.9 FM, or streaming at WRFALP.com/streaming. There's also a video feed provided by Ed Tomasini and his volunteers. Randy Anderson helping out tonight with the video production along with Ed. You can find that online at youtube.com/Allendale101. Several ways to keep up with the Tarp Skunks. We're happy to do it and help out here on WRFA. With that being said, I'll let Norm and Max continue the action here as we head into the top of the 5th inning. The score 5-4, Newark leading Jamestown. Back to you guys.
Jason, as always, thank you very much as Bryce Jackson's getting another inning of work here. Last inning, he struck out the side, and he's done very well in relief of Perry as his next pitch hits that outside corner for strike one. It's going to be Whitley, Morgan, and Goods up the bat to start it off for the Pilots.
2, 3, 4 to start it off, a nice speed threat, and then 2 big sticks to follow him up.
Next pitch, and that's going to go to center field for a base hit. So second hit of the game for Whitley. Or no, excuse me, that's his third hit of the game. 3 for 3, 3 singles. His last at bat, it was a 2 RBI single. So give them 10 hits on the night. And now it's going to be Ty Morgan, who had a single and a run in that 5-run third.
As I mentioned, the guy on first, Whitley, my bad. He's got burner wheels, so don't be scared if you see him running.
So Jackson takes a check at first and a decent lead, almost that suicide lead between first and second. Here's the next pitch by Jackson. Possible double play, 5. No, oh, bad throw. That's going to be an E5. But thankfully, too shallow for the runners to advance. And runners are on first and second and no outs. And now it's going to be Dan Goods up the bat.
Got a nice duck on the pond over there on second base, and then if he can put one in the gap, he can possibly score 2, giving them a 3-run lead here in the 5th inning.
Yep. So Morgan gets on base by the fielder's choice, and plus an error. And early last season, that was a problem for Jamestown. In the first several games, they averaged 2 to 4 errors a game approximately. But Jackson gets set on the belt. He's in a jam here. No outs, runners on first and second. Takes a check at second, and he's about to throw his next pitch. It's going to be a bunt, but he aborts as it was high and inside.
Good take on that one. Way to pull it back.
And O'Shaughnessy doing what he's known to do in bunt situations. He likes to get real close into the infield where he's even on the grass.
That leaves you susceptible to a slasher approach where he shows bunt, then swings as hard as he can, trying to hit you in the noggin.
Fakes the bunt and then swings for a possible base hit. Next pitch. Oh, Maglio tried to frame that. From our view, looked like, for me, it hit that outside corner, but it's a ball, 2-0.
As you said earlier, the umpires have the best view.
Yes,
we
they
just
do.
have the best seats.
Oh, yeah, press box is the best spot in the house indeed. You get to see the whole action.
And you get to see nice greenery in the outfield.
The green grass of home, they would say, as the next pitch is in the dirt, 3-0, and this could be the second time in 2+ innings where it could be a bases-loaded situation and nobody out. And should Goods get walked, Jake Given would be the next batter up. He is the catcher. And from first to third, it's a force at any base. So not a terrible situation. Next pitch, right at the heart, strike 1.
Now, they could be trying to pitch around him because he is the cleanup hitter, but it's always dangerous to load the bases, especially with the 5-hole up next.
Yeah, and usually the cleanup spot, that's the RBI machine of the batting order. Count 3-1. Jackson gets his sign, takes a check at second. Here's the next pitch. Full count, inside corner. Oh, man, Goods thought he got walked. Almost a case of the Brett Laurie where he was taken off, but it was a called strike.
Showing up the umpire, they never like that.
Hey, arguing balls and strikes, that's a big no-no.
Oh, of course. At least he didn't keep running,
Yep. 5 runs on 10 hits right now for Newark and only 1 error. Full count pitch coming for Jackson. Here's the delivery. Chopper to first, and he'll go 3 to 6. And almost got a nailing there of Whitley at third, but they at least getting out. However, runners are at the corners with only 1, and a good sac fly or a good base hit could get the runner home, as it will be given up the bat.
Given looks to be, he looks to have reached base on a fielder's choice in his second at bat in the 3rd inning.
And Maglio calling a quick time to just have a quick talk with Jackson from back of the plate to the mound. So far, no runs given up by Jackson, and he still has an opportunity for a double play from second to first. Runner goes. Oh no, he's gonna. He kept the ball. He saw the runner was heading for third, hesitated, and just threw it back to Jackson. We've already seen Maglio nail a couple of runners, and he's done very well subbing in for Campus, who gets a well-deserved break from being behind the plate.
That runner didn't get a good jump. I'm surprised he didn't let it go.
I think he saw Whitley running from third, as the next pitch is low for a ball, 2-0. Once again, Skunks down 5-4. Newark with a chance to extend their lead.
2 runners in scoring position, a very good spot to get a nice RBI here for him.
Even a good base hit could drive home both. Next pitch on the way. Outside corner, 2-1. As Jackson will step back onto the rubber.
Got to make sure he doesn't get too much of a lead. He doesn't look to be paying attention over there at third base.
Yeah, and that's Cody Bay. He and O'Shaughnessy they've centered out onto the infield as the next pitch hits the dirt, but Maglio, good job blocking it as the count goes 3-1. And again, that's the green light situation.
You mentioned those corner infielders, the first and third baseman. They are in on the grass. That is to cut down the run scoring on a ground ball hit to them. A lot of runners actually test it really, and yeah.
Well, here's the next pitch. That's way outside. Ball 4. Jackson's first walk of the game. Now the bases are jammed up with just 1 out, and up the bat is going to be number 5 for Newark, and that is Derek Smitch.
The DH today.
So again, bases are jammed, 1 out, but now it's a force out at all the bases, so a possible grounder could end the inning. Here's the next pitch. And here's a chopper over to second. A 4-6, but that's it. A run's going to score, and Newark extends their lead to 6-4. So now it's going to be Goods at third base. And the bases are still loaded as well, as it's going to be Greg Kopp up the bat. Hit a single, which drove in 2 RBIs in his last one. So 6 unanswered runs by the Pilots. And, so there's a correction. There was no out. The foot must have been off of the bag. So 1 out still, it says on the board. Next pitch by Jackson at the heart of the plate for strike 1.
The throw looked to be a little bit late to me. I wasn't too sure, though. Yeah, I lost my glasses kayaking, so these are my old pair. So
Sometimes accidents happen. Nobody's perfect.
expensive accidents.
But bases are loaded, just 1 out, so a chance to drive in 2 and double their lead to 4 runs. Next pitch on the way. Chopper to first. It's going to be a 3-6. 1 double play. No, they called him safe. Jackson, from my view, his foot was on the corner of the bag unless the ball was not in his mitt fully. I thought they had him out.
Those are the classic J runs. You always love to see them. Very depressing that it didn't work out for him. But it does look like the umpires are conferring around the pitcher's mound to see if they got that one right.
Yeah, again, it's just 2 umpires. There's 1 behind the plate, and there's 1 taking charge of all 3 bases. Only in playoff games would there be a 3rd one. And the fans, they're voicing their displeasure. Another run got scored. The call stands. Runner safe. 7-4 to score now. 7 unanswered runs by Newark after trailing 4-0 after 2 innings.
You can hear the uproar from the Tarp Skunks crowd here, and I can't say I blame them. I would be upset too if I were there, if I was in the stands rooting for them.
So Kyle Wood up the bat. Grounded out in a 5-3 in his last at-bat. Runners are at the corners, 2 outs. 2 runs here in the 5th inning, though, for Newark. Here's the next pitch on the way by Jackson. High and inside, almost a little chin music there, 1-0.
Get the banjo out, start playing it.
Might as well get the doing ones, but we got to find Earl Scruggs. But Jackson, 1-0 count here, looking to just minimize the damage. There's no other pitching going on warm-up-wise in the bullpen for the Skunks. This is the next pitch. The pick off first, slides back in safely.
Basile, as aggressive as he is on the base path, he's also aggressive with his pickoff moves. I don't know how much of the pickoff moves are by his command, but they seem a little aggressive there.
Runner goes. Maglio winging it to second, and that's a tag out. And what a job, though, by Johnson to hold on to the ball. It was at the tip of his glove. The runner is down on the ground, but that's going to conclude 4.5 here at Dietrich. And score now 7-4 as Newark added 2 runs to their lead.
And with that, we'll stay with you for this break. And again, thank our sponsors. Support for WRFA's coverage of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks in 2022 is brought to you by Schultz Auto Group. Schultz Auto Group, celebrating over 50 years of serving the community's automotive needs with an excellent customer buying and ownership experience. At Schultz Auto Group, all repair facilities have experienced and factory-trained technicians with state-of-the-art equipment for every automotive need, no matter what engine type, gas, diesel, or electric. The next generation of auto care is already at Schultz Auto Group. Schultz Auto Group, proud supporter of Jamestown Tarp Skunk Community Baseball on your community radio station, WRFA-LP. For more information, call 1-866-931-2998 or visit schultzauto.com. A reminder, WRFA's fundraiser for 2022 is back on the first day of summer, June 21st, at the Southern Tier Brewing Company. It's the Great American Picnic, a tribute to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Artists in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame performed by musicians from the Chautauqua and Jamestown area. Stop on by Southern Tier Brewing Company from 5 to 9 and show your support for community radio. Enjoy the sounds as well as some of the flavors. And thank you so much for Southern Tier Brewing Company for hosting us yet again. More information online at our Facebook page or at our website, WRFALP.com. June 21st, Great American Picnic. Hope to see you there. Back to you, Norm.
Jason, thank you very much as we're about to start the bottom of inning number 5, and Lowe getting another inning of work here. Next pitch on the way, and at the heart of the plate, strike 1. It'll be Maglio, Martinez, and Tucker to start it off for the Skunks here. And they're a 3-run hole, 7-4. Here's Lowe's next pitch. Chopper down the third base side foul, and his last at-bat, which was in the 2nd inning, he got on by an E4 and also scored a run.
Any way will work at this point.
As long as you're on base, that's what matters. Here's the 0-2 by Lowe on the way. It's going to go over to second. An easy grab and a simple 4-3 ground out, but an out is an out no matter how sophisticated or simple it is. And now it'll be Henry Martinez, the center fielder.
Martinez showed blazing speed, but he was still called out on a stolen base. Close one, though, close one.
Yep. So he's going to come up to bat. Next pitch on the way by Lowe. Inside corner, strike 1.
This pitcher has had real good control, painting corners. Call him Picasso in there.
Must have got his paint from Lowe's, no pun intended. Next pitch on the way by him. And that's going to go fair, but down the right field line. And Martinez is going to head for a double here, and he's going to get in easily. Didn't even need to slide, and with the amount of time he had, you might as well cue the theme of Leave It to Beaver.
those shots down the line are always good. When you're a right fielder and you pick up that ball, you are trying to gun him down at second, but that ball was hit soft enough that he didn't have much time.
Yep, and now it's going to be Mark Tucker up the bat. He had an RBI single in his first at-bat. Again, he was the team RBI machine last year. And Martinez taking a good lead off second. He's not scared to take off. He's shown that he's a bit of a maverick, a cowboy on the bases. Lowe taking a long look at him. Next pitch on the way. Inside corner, strike one. And again, just like Starry, Starry Night by Van Gogh, painting that corner.
Call that plate the Mona Lisa.
And here comes Lowe's next pitch as he's getting that right sign that he wants from Given. Next pitch on the way. Swung on and missed, strike two. And the first game of the year, Jamestown wore their alternative black jerseys, but this time they're wearing their white ones. And sometimes, though, with that tail on the back, it blocks the view of the jersey number sometimes, so it makes it difficult finding out who's who.
Another issue with the white jerseys that when you slide into second base, it's not fun to clean out.
Stains stick out like a sore thumb. 0-2 on the way. Caught looking, strike three. Right at the heart of the plate, and that's the second out, as now it will be back to the top of the lineup. The man who loves to steal the bases, though they're not picnic baskets, Yogi Hartigan.
Following the backwards K, he looks to be 1 for 2 on this outing.
Yes, indeed. He had a single and a run in the first inning, and in the last one, he grounded out, and that was back in inning number 2. With a good base hit, though, Hartigan can cut the Tarp Skunk. Man, we're prone to say jammers the first couple of games of the year usually. But 5th hit of the game by Jamestown in this inning, and Hartigan looking to get a run on the board and cut the deficit down to 2. Lowe taking a look at Martinez, taking a couple of checks. Here's the next pitch. And even if Hartigan would have aborted that check in time, that hit the heart of the plate. Strike one. 2 outs, Martinez on second. He's got a good lead off of it. Again, Coach Jordan Brazil not scared to get his runners to steal the bases. Next pitch on the way by Lowe. That's going to go foul near the Skunks bullpen. So the count goes 0-2. Lowe 1 strike away from throwing a 4th consecutive donut hole on the scoreboard for Newark.
You can tell with how much he's looking back there, this pitcher is scared of the runner on second. But with 2 outs, he can afford to be not scared, honestly.
Yeah, he can overlook that he's got a decent lead off second base.
Especially with that lead they have.
Here's the pitch, and this is going to go to shallow left, and he's calling for it, the left fielder. He does make the catch. Good catch there by Matt Fabian, and that's going to conclude 5 innings here at Dietrich with the score 7-4 in favor of Newark. But we'll be right back for some more Tarp Skunks action right here on WRFA.
Very good. I'm down here on the third baseline, and we're going to start something called Meet the Skunk Fans. And you've been here a long time, sir. Introduce yourself to the crowd.
Bob Swanson from Kennedy, New York.
And Bob, you have been here for how long as a fan? Well, not straight. Obviously, you go home now and then, but how long have you been in games?
Since 1982.
And that's right. So what was the team that was here in 82?
The Steamtown Expos.
So you've been through the Expos, a couple incarnations of the Jammers, right? And now the Skunks. Right down the team here.
Yes, sir. Enjoy baseball.
And we're about to momentarily start the top of the 6th inning here at Dietrich Park, right here on WRFA. Bryce Jackson getting another inning of work here for the Skunks. But last inning, Newark extended their lead with 2 runs in the 5th. They were down 4-0 after 2 innings, but since then, it's been all the Pilots. They're flying high in the air with the greatest of ease, 7 unanswered runs, and not even Johnny on airplane could save them with the phones on each ear going, it's a twister, it's a twister. And right now, to start off the batting here for the Pilots, it's going to be It's going to be Kyle Wood coming up to bat. And here comes the next pitch by Jackson. Swung on and missed for strike one. And Wood will step back into the batter's box. Jackson getting a sign from Maglio. Comes set. Here's the delivery. Low in the dirt, 1-1.
Did it look to be a breaking ball to you, or did that seem like a 58-foot fastball?
Looked like the latter, the 58-footer. All I know is the Grinch wouldn't even touch that with a 39.5-foot pole as a swing and a miss for strike two.
1-2 counts are always fun as a pitcher. You could really go anywhere. You just do not want to fill that count up to 3-2. But you do have a waste pitch if you want to use it.
That's for sure. Next pitch, though, in the dirt and ball two. And we're going to have a pinch hitter coming up in the next at-bat. On deck is going to be number 6, Jack Scanlon. He's a native of Rochester, New York. A right-hander freshman at Onondaga Community College, so he will be batting for Matt Fabian. And he was the one that got, I believe he was the one that got his. This one's hit to left field and caught easily there for Jamestown by Durrell for the first out. And again, we got a pinch hitter coming. It's going to be Scanlon, Jack Scanlon. He'll be pinch hitting for Matt Fabian. So one out here in the top of the 6th. Newark up 7-4. And a quick conversation by Scanlon with the umpires. He fills out the card to update the pinch hitter. And while we are waiting, let's take a look at his stat line. So far this season, Scanlon's appeared in 1 game. He's only had 1 at-bat and failed to get a hit on it. So this will be his 2nd at-bat of the season. Pinch hitting again for Fabian.
Scanlon's hometown is from Rochester, New York, and he is a freshman at Onondaga Community College.
First pitch he took was outside and in the dirt for a ball 1. There won't be another pitch hitter after him for right now, so it'll be Scanlon and then Kine, the 10-hole batter. But here's the 1-0 pitch by Jackson, and that one hits the dirt, but fortunately, again, no runners on bases. So 2-0 count, 1 out. Again, Newark with 7 unanswered runs since the top of the 3rd inning. As Jackson will set to throw his next pitch. That's going to go down the first base line into right field, a base hit. Will it have enough drag for a double? No, he decides not to push it, and he'll head back to first. So a pinch hit single for Scanlon, and now it's going to be Matt Kine, the first baseman, up the bat.
Now, they almost did catch him as he did round a little bit too much, but he did scurry back in time. I'm not sure if the first baseman knew that there was a potential play, but it was nice to see he was quick on his feet.
So Jackson's got a runner on first, but he does have 1 out, and I'm sure he wants that best friend of the pitcher, a double play. Next pitch on the way, outside corner for strike 1.
I heard some groans from the Pilots' dugout. I don't think they liked that one.
Well, I'm sure they're not too worried because they can just take a look at the scoreboard. They're up by 3 runs right now, 7-4.
And they have a runner on base with only 1 out.
So it's like the Partridge Family's theme song, Come On Get Happy, as the next pitch is swung on and missed for strike 2.
Now, Norm, do you think he's going to go for a ground ball, or do you think he's going to go for that K on this next pitch?
I don't know what he's going to do, but I feel as long as he gets that out, he'll be happy either way. But I'm sure he prefer the double play. Runner goes, 0-2. That's going to be a chopper to third. Oh, it bounces too high. That's going to be a base hit there for Kine. It'll be a 2nd hit of the game, and the runners will just go station to station. And now it's going to be back to the top of the lineup with T.J. Werner back up the bat.
Even with the runner going on the hit and run, the ball did not go far enough, or it even possibly went too fast for the runner to advance to third base.
Yeah, and Bay did a good job preparing himself for it, but the bounce of it was just too high. Jackson gets his sign, comes set. Runners on first and second with just 1 out. A chance to get another one on the board for the Pilots as Werner takes the first pitch on the outside corner for strike 1.
Good pitch. You always want to lead off an at-bat, especially in this clutch situation with a strike.
And that last hit, that was the 13th hit of the game for the Pilots, and Jamestown's been held to just 5. Next pitch on the way for Jackson. In the dirt, and the runners will stay. Maglio, again, a good job blocking that pitch.
Showed some great agility there as he had to go all the way into the left-handed batter's box to stop that one. Curveball got away from Jackson there.
And speaking of that, looking for that right side from Maglio. It's a 1-1 count, just one out. He still has the double play possibility as well, but here's his next pitch. Outside corner, 1-2. So one strike away from a second out or an induced grounder for a possible double play. Jamestown's had a few opportunities with it, but they've resulted in late throws and a couple of errors as well.
I think Jackson's going for the strikeout here. He kept nodding off a couple of signs from the catcher and went to the fastball.
Next pitch on the way, chopper, foul down the third base side. Ball gets recovered by Bazil, and he'll just throw it back to Jackson.
Now the Tarp Skunks on this winning streak, they are 3-0. How much do you think it's the players, or how much do you think it's Bazil, the management?
I would say 50-50. Bazil's had strong players on his team since he became the coach of them, and plus, Bazil, he's worked with the Detroit Tigers. He coached for JCC. He's coached for Sudi Fredonia. As the next pitch, gives that one a good ride to left field. Back goes Durrell for it and makes the catch, and not far enough for the runners to advance. No tag ups, they'll stay put, and now it's going to be Whitley, who was a perfect 3 for 3 on the night.
Let's see if he can make it a 4 for 4 here. Especially with the runner on second base, he would be itching for that 4 for 4 lineup.
And he also does have a pair of RBIs too. As he steps up into the box, a good base hit can give them a 4-run lead, 8-4. He does get his sign, comes set at the belt, takes a check at second, and here comes his next pitch. Chopper, foul. If it would have stayed fair, it could have been a possible around the horn 5-4-3, or just a force out to second.
A lot of these third basemen prefer throwing to second base. It's a much easier throw, but not a lot of second basemen, especially at this level, are quick on their feet to understand that there is a play at second.
Well, Jackson gets his sign, takes a check of the runners, 0-1 pitch, in the dirt, 1-1. As Jackson gets the ball back from Maglio. Runners on first and second with 2 outs from what we see on the board. So Jackson 1 out away from putting a scoreless inning for himself. He gets his sign, takes a check at second. Next pitch on the way, 1-1. Chopper over to short. Tucker will just throw it to O'Shaughnessy and called safe. Bases are going to be loaded with 2 outs, and that's the 4th hit of the game for Whitley. He's got 4 of the 14, and now it's going to be Ty Morgan up to bat. And this is the 3rd time that Jamestown's going to face a bases-loaded situation.
Well, at least this time it's a lot easier with 2 outs. The
For
force
sure.
at any base, and you can always get that K to send them all packing home back to their dugout.
Yes, indeed. Jamestown, again, they're a victim of a 7-0 run after being ahead 4-0, and they want to avoid any further damage. And besides the 2 runs given up in the 5th inning, Jackson, he's done fairly solid coming in for Perry as his next pitch hits the heart of the plate for a strike 1.
Looked like a cut fastball there. It had some speed, and it zipped right into the inside corner.
Oh, there's some cutters that are nice. Corey Kluber's got one of the best ones in the league when he's healthy.
What's that break on that? 32 inches? Almost the width of the bat.
Yeah. But here's the next pitch on the way by Jackson. That hit off the shin guard, so foul ball. Count 0-2.
The only worry here is that you don't want to get a curveball that squeaks by Maglio behind the plate. That might come in and score a run. Other than that, you can really do whatever you want here if you're Jackson's.
I wouldn't mind seeing one of these pitches for the Skunks throughout the season that has a nice 12-6er. Those are some of the nastiest ones I've ever seen personally.
Those are always like the hardest to hit. It looks like it's going to break away from you, and you adjust for that, and it just goes straight down.
Jackson looking for that right pitch. He's 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Bases are jammed up, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. from my view, Morgan clearly did not go around. The count goes 1-2. And speaking of Morgan, he's 1 for 3 in his at-bats. He popped out to short, hit a single, scored a run, and he also got on his last at-bat by a fielder's choice. Double play attempt that resulted in a throwing error.
Luckily on that throwing error, the runners did not advance much more, but still crucial if they would have gotten that out.
1-2 pitch, swung on and missed for strike 3. 4th strikeout of the game for Bryce Jackson, and that's the end of 5.5 here at Dietrich Park.
And we'll stay with you for this break and thank another one of our sponsors, reminding you that support for WRFA's coverage of Jamestown Tarp Skunks in 2022 is brought to you in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency. The Chautauqua County IDA is an economic development organization authorized and empowered by New York State to make Chautauqua County a better place to work, live, and visit. The IDA facilitates development by attracting new businesses, while also promoting the retention and expansion of existing businesses. And it offers businesses assistance in the forms of tax abatements, low-interest loans, and bond financing, all of which enhance the opportunities for job creation and retention by local businesses. The Chautauqua County IDA, a proud supporter of Jamestown Tarp Skunk baseball on WRFA. For more information, call 716-661-8900 or visit ccida.com. Back to you guys.
Jason, thank you very much as always, as we're about to start the bottom of inning number 6. As we're about to officially hit 2/3 of the way through the game, Jamestown, again, uncharacteristically behind here at home, 7-4 here at Dietrich Park, and made me think of something early in last season. There was a game where Jamestown, they got handled pretty good by the Niagara Power, where they lost the game 12-2. So, again, they did have an early loss that was starting to get bad, similar to what's happening right now. But Jamestown, there's still 9 more outs, or 12, rather, and plenty of time to get 3 runs. Not an insurmountable deficit by any means.
Well, at least the Jamestown Tarp Skunks have more than 2 runs this game.
Yes, they do. But it's going to be Johnson, Bay, and O'Shaughnessy to start it off in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Have to say, if you're going to want to spark a comeback, the 2, 3, 4 batters are the best way to do it.
And Lowe getting another inning of work as the pitch is inside for ball 1.
Looked like it might have hit him there, but he doesn't really look like it.
If he wanted to be hit to go on the base, there would have been a bit more dramatics if he was trying to sell it.
Maybe him rolling around in the dirt.
Well, here's the next pitch by Lowe, and that's going to go down the third baseline. Oh, nice field there by Morgan, and he'll get it over to Kine for a 3-1 or a 5-3 ground out, and now it's going to be Cody Bay up the bat.
Couldn't help but notice there that first baseman had to stretch a long way to get that out, and when I played first base, I hated my third baseman when he made me do that. Those hurt.
Oh, the splits?
Oh, yeah. Believe it or not, it doesn't look like it right now, but I used to be able to do a full split.
Always good to have a little bit of fun facts, whether it be from sports or from someone's own life. It's always good to have some filler talk as the next pitch is on the way for a strike 1. Cody Bay, he's 0 for 2. He had a sac bunt, and he struck out. So he's looking for his first hit of the game. 4 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors right now for the Skunks. Next pitch on the way by Lowe. Down the third base side, but foul. Strike 2. And a decent turnout here again on a Monday night. Another Skunk promotional effort to get a decent amount of fans in. But right now, Skunks behind 7-4. 0-2 count, 1 out, nobody on base. Bale going to get a base hit and start a rally here.
I'm sure my dad is enjoying that $2 popcorn.
I'm sure he is. Next pitch on the way. It hits the dirt for a 1-2 count. So Bay will get to see another at bat.
After that curveball, in the dirt, I would expect a fastball, but it's never really good to expect anything if you're a hitter at this caliber.
Always expect the unexpected. 1-2 count here. The pitch, chopper to third. How about back-to-back 5-3s for outs to start it off, and successful. So now it's going to be Patrick O'Shaughnessy coming up the bat.
As I said, that was in fact a fastball, and it did look to get the better of him as he can only chop it down the third base line. Nice throw from the third baseman down to first, and 2 outs with O'Shaughnessy up to bat.
O'Shaughnessy, he's 0 for 1. He does have a 2 RBI ground out, and he was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Once again, very patient hitter. Not an easy batter to strike out as Lowe's next pitch is on the way. He swings and misses for strike 1. That ball in the dirt.
Nice action on that curveball. Tough to hit those, especially when you're a left-handed batter with this arm at least.
Here's Lowe's next pitch on the 0-1. Right down Broadway, strike 2. Lowe 1 strike away from a 1-2-3 inning. Again, score still 7-4 here in favor of Newark over the Skunks. 0-2 on the way by Lowe. Chopper to first, but it goes foul. So O'Shaughnessy will live this at-bat to see another pitch.
That first baseman made a nice sliding play, but it unfortunately was in foul territory. He couldn't really do much with it.
Score still 7-4 as we hear a little bit of the beginning of the Banana Boat song by Harry Belafonte. Next pitch on the way. In the dirt, 1-2.
Good eye to spit on that one. Outside in the other batter's box in the dirt.
Yeah, and should O'Shaughnessy get on base by any means, the man on deck right now is the DH Johnny Campus. It's still a pitcher's count here, 1-2, 2 outs. Lowe looking for the 1-2-3 inning. Here's his next pitch. Swung on into deep right field, but that's going to go foul. O'Shaughnessy got a good cut at it, but couldn't stay in fair territory.
I suppose if it did stay in fair territory, that right fielder looked to have a good beat on it, but it did squirt just foul. And O'Shaughnessy will be still up to bat, and he is stepping into the batter's box now.
He is indeed in there as he's looking to extend the inning. Lowe's 1-2 pitch, take 3. Outside count goes even at 2s, and we got that triple deuce on the board again with 2 outs, a 2-2 count. Looking to go 6 complete innings with Newark still ahead. Lowe's trying to aim for as his 2-2's on the way. Chopper to first, but foul again.
Nice little flail. Flair for the dramatic there for the first baseman. Maybe he's in art school.
Or maybe does a little dance classes, who knows?
They're always fun.
Hey, a player plus the baseball, that equals 2 to tango. But anyways, ironically, 2-2 count on the way for Lowe again. Oh, caught looking at the heart of the plate. That's going to be at the end of 6 innings here at Dietrich. Score still 7-4 in favor of Newark, but we'll be right back for the top of the 7th and more right here on WRFA. And we're about to start the top of the 7th inning right here of Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball on WRFA. Norm Rodriguez along with Max Pinjator as Jackson's going to get another inning of work here. And again, in spite of the 2 runs allowed in the 5th inning, Jackson, he's done fairly well coming in relief back in the 3rd inning for Travis Perry. Warm-up pitches are concluded, and it's going to be Goods, Given, and Smitch coming up to bat to start off the top of the 7th inning.
Especially out of the bullpen. I think this is his 4th inning of work.
Yeah, 4th and change, I would say.
Yeah, 4th and change. Out of the bullpen, that's not really fun, especially when I think they're trying to keep him up for some of the games coming up this week. He is a pretty good pitcher. He was Player of the Week a couple times for JCC.
Yes, he was, and also had 100 career strikeouts as a Jayhawk. Here's his next pitch on the way, and he's got 4 tonight, as his next pitch is a strike at the heart of the plate. Newark looking to sweeten their lead a little bit and put Jamestown into a further hole in the corner, as the next pitch is about to be thrown here by Jackson. Shaking off a couple of signs from Maglio, but he's got the one he wants. And this one into right field for a base hit. And for Goods, that's going to be his first hit of the night.
See, you take it what you can get when you're a hitter, especially when you are actually, he's 0 for 2 today. You take what you can get. An all-seeing ground ball is as good as a home run when you're hitless on the day.
Got to take what you can get. As Givens is up to bat for the Pilots, the catcher. He's 0 for 2. He lined out to short, fielder's choice, and he got walked in his last at bat. Runner goes. Maglio, he had a juggle of the ball, didn't have a firm grip of it, so he had to abort a throw to second and just toss it back to Jackson. And Newark doing what Jamestown usually does, pilfering those bases, setting the base paths on fire.
Sometimes when runners go at that speed, you get a little scared when you're on the transfer and you bobble the ball. Nothing too major, but Goods does get second base after that.
Here's Jackson's next pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. 1-1. Clearly went around, and from the way it looked, he wanted to abort, but realized it was way too late. Again, Given looking for his first hit of the game.
He did make it around third after a walk his last at-bat.
Jackson takes a check at second, and here comes his next pitch about to be tossed. Chopper to the third base side, but foul. Bazil will field it and throw it back to Jackson.
That's that Golden Glove.
Only difference is Bazil's not wearing a mitt.
He's got a family to think about.
But at least he does have a helmet on, though, too. 7-4, though, in favor of Newark. 1-2 count. Runner at second base. Next pitch by Jackson. Caught looking, strike 3. 5th strikeout of the game for Bryce Jackson. And now it will be Smitch, the DH, up the bat.
That ball had some sinking cut. It was pretty wicked. I don't think I could have hit that if I was in my prime. Of course, I never had a prime.
Sometimes people don't pan out in athletics as a player, but you always could wear them the headset or in other fields of sports, respectively. As Jackson gets his sign, takes a check at second. Next pitch. Outside, 1-0.
Maglio definitely tried to put that on the black. You can see, I can almost sense the disgust that he had. He probably thinks he could have done better framing that.
Not the end of the world, though. Just a 1-0 count. Next pitch. That's going to go to shallow center field. And it's going to drop a base hit. So runners at the corners, just 1 out. And now it's going to be Greg Kopp, the extra hitter. And that was Smitch's second hit of the game.
Goods is now standing on third base. He had to be mindful of the catch. He tried to tag up. I did see that. But he did realize that it was too shallow for the center fielder to get it, and it was almost placed perfectly for no one to be able to catch that.
Also, it looks like it's going to be a pinch hitter here. And it's going to be number 4, Michael Doyle. He goes to NJIT, a native of Staten Island, New York. Only a freshman, but he is righty a la both ways. Bats and throws righty. Runner goes. Foul ball, though, as it goes near the Pew crew for strike 1. Some of them do deserve a nice souvenir.
Just be glad it didn't hit a car. I don't hear a car alarm yet.
But again, there's always that disclaimer in front of the ballpark. All car owners assume all risk. So they'd be held liable, not the organization. Runner goes again, though. Maglio bolts it to second. Safe to home and safe. Now the runner from second going to third. 8th run. Pew crew not happy with that slide, but it was a clean slide. It was not a bowl because you can't bowl over the catcher anymore. It was a clean slide, and it also looked like Maglio was blocking the plate too.
Maglio is down a little bit. Can't say I blame him. He did get the blunt end of Good's cleat. No pun intended, but that is not good.
Yeah, so Good scores a run on that little fiasco there. It looks like, though, he's going to be all right. He is up, which is always a good sign. You always hope it's nothing serious.
I think he just got the wind knocked out of him.
That's what I'm thinking.
Definitely seen worse, but as long as he stays in that dirt circle, I'll be happy.
Yeah, and there's no, from what I see on the roster for the Skunks, there's no other catchers besides Campus. So if Maglio were to be hurt, unless any of the other players on the roster have experience as a catcher, but while we're waiting, though, we're hearing Le Freak by Chic, one of the popular funk songs of the late 70s, early 80s era.
Oh, yeah. And if you just tuning in now, the Newark Pilots are ahead of the Tarp Skunks 8-4 with one down in the top of the 6th.
And it's a 1-1 count. A bit of issue trying to get the runners out. A steal at second. The throw by Maglio was unsuccessful. Then a run got to home safely. Maglio is okay. He's walking with a little bit of help. One of the assistant coaches walking beside him. Again, though, the only other catcher on the roster is Campus. So I wonder what's going to happen.
It looks like they are having a meeting at home plate.
Looks like he may be done. He's going into the dugout. Looks like I see Campus going deep in. Looks like he may be getting some catcher equipment. And I think we could be seeing Campus going from DH to catcher.
And to make sure that Bryce Jackson stays warm, a honorary catcher is coming in to take his place to give Bryce Jackson a couple of warm-up pitches while we wait on Campus to put on his equipment.
Yeah, and again, score 8-4. 8 unanswered runs here by the Pilots, so they're flying high. They don't need Stryker to take over the plane, and they don't need the autopilot either. 8-4 here, just one out. Runner at third, as Jackson will throw some warm-up pitches.
And with that runner at third, if he scores that they are out of slam range, so even a grand slam won't tie it up. That's always something you want to shoot for if you're in the lead.
Oh, and with the bases loaded, though, you want that rye bread, you want the mustard, you want that salami, you want the grand salami. But that's only a hypothetical case. We still got another 2 2/3 innings of baseball left, regulation-wise, quote-unquote.
You mentioned rye bread. Did you know I've never tried rye bread until last year?
It's really good.
Oh, it is.
So the next batter up, again, it's a pinch hitter. It's number 4, Michael Doyle, a 5'10". Goes to New Jersey Institute of Technology, again, native of Staten Island. We can only hope that Maglio's all right and can finish off the game behind the plate. I believe he went out to seek some medical attention to see what's going on.
It is $2 night, so he might be snacking on some popcorn.
I don't know about that, personally, but...
I don't think Basil would like that, though.
And while we wait, how about a song that gets overplayed on the radio sometimes by some certain stations? Eagles is Hotel California. Sometimes when I hear that on radio personally, I just want to beg to the person that's DJing on the station respectively, how about a little One of These Nights, Lion Eyes, Witchy Woman, Take It to the Limit,
well,
something different.
At least when you're on the radio, you can change the channel maybe to WRFA.
There's sometimes I do listen to that to actually help me sleep, and sometimes we hear the Skunks or the promotions for the Skunks. Listen to every home game right here on WRFA. Again, we're just waiting to see if Maglio is all right. Jackson doing some more pitches and Campus taking care of him on the backstop of the plate. Again, it'll be a 1-1 count when Doyle comes back up the bat.
While we wait for the return to action, Jason Sample here jumping in. Gentlemen are doing a fine job. Just reminding our listeners that we'll be back doing another broadcast on Saturday, June 11th, when the Utica Blue Sox come to Jamestown for, I believe, the first time. And then also the following day, a late afternoon start at 4 p.m., it'll be the Elmira Pioneers here at Dietrich Park. Back-to-back games Saturday and Sunday, June 11th and 12th, right here on WRFA, your home for all of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks home games throughout the 2022 season. Gentlemen, back to you.
Jason, thank you as always.
I just figured there's always something to talk about besides the music the stadium's playing, Norm.
Well, it's always good to have filler talk. This is the second of 6 games that the Skunks do have this week. It's the first of 2 at home. The next one won't be until Saturday, like Jason mentioned. The next 3 games will be on the road, Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday, they're at Batavia. Then they're at Auburn on Wednesday. And then Batavia again on Friday. 2 of those games was 7 o'clock first pitch. The other one at 7:05. So again, we're just playing the waiting game here regarding Maglio.
Looks like a couple of players are playing, or they're juggling over there by the home side dugout.
Nothing wrong with being the Crown Prince of baseball for the Skunks.
Frankly, I was never able to juggle. I always tried. To juggle oranges.
Oranges, strawberries, avocados, who knows? But Maglio is back out. He's going to be behind the plate. Campus again was just giving Jackson some warm-up pitches. And Maglio, he is all right. He'll be back behind home plate.
After that stoppage, we are still at a 1-1 count with 1 down, the triple sticks, as you like to call it. And Maglio is getting a couple of pitches behind the plate just to make sure that he is all well and good. And we have a runner on third. Smitch is on third, the designated hitter. And Doyle is up to bat, the pinch hitter.
So Jackson looking to avoid a possible sac fly or a possible grounder to get another run on the board for Newark. Next pitch on the way. It does hit the dirt, but Maglio, good job blocking it. Count goes 2-1.
Good to see he's still in tip-top shape.
So hitters count right now 2-1. 1 run here in the 7th, and Newark, I'm sure they're hungry for more. Jackson takes a check at third. Next pitch. Outside corner. Count goes even. So 2-2 count, just 1 out.
With the 2-2 count, he's definitely going for the strikeout here. You don't want to put the ball in play because, as you said, a fly ball to the outfield could score 1, and a ground ball to the center.
It's going to be a chopper to third, but it goes foul. So count will stay 2-2. Doyle will see another pitch.
Way to fight off and stay alive there. You can play the Bee Gees, staying alive.
Yeah, that's also a good song to do when you learn about doing CPR, the 100 beats per minute. 2-2 pitch on the way in the dirt, but again, Maglio, a good job blocking it. Count goes full. And it looks like we're going to have another pinch hitter coming up as well after Doyle. It's going to be number 7, Fernaldo Espinal. He's a Brooklyn native and goes to Cayuga Community College. It's going to be a chopper foul again. So Doyle making Jackson work here.
You mentioned Espinal. He is 6'2". It's pretty big, almost as tall as me.
And he bats and throws right-handed. He's just a freshman. Full count pitch once again coming up here for Jackson. He's looking for an out. Here's the pitch. And over the short, he's going to head home. Throws it to Maglio, and he tagged him out. So a good job there, and Doyle gets on by the fielder's choice. Even so, no run on the board. And I beg your pardon, that was Johnson who made that nice throw. And it's going to be, again, Espinal up to bat. He will be hitting for Kyle Wood.
The shortstop and the second baseman were playing rather in. Normally they play out, close to the outfield grass, but they were actually playing near the infield grass, and that is why they got the out at home, and they cut him down at the plate.
So the good news
Situational
is-
baseball.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
no
off there. But runner on first, but the good thing for Jackson is 2 outs. We're 1 out away from the 7th inning stretch here. I'm sure some of the fans want to stretch up their legs and whatnot from the hours of sitting, as another pitch is chopped foul for strike 1. And should Espinal get up on base by any means, there would be another pinch hitter coming up, and that would be number 6 for the Pilots, and that's going to be, or I know he's going to be coming back up. That's going to be Jack Scanlon. He got a single in his first at-bat. He was the one that pinch hit for Fabian. Right now, though, a 1-1 count with 2 outs, runner on first.
Very small lead, playing very conservative.
Next pitch on the way, outside, 2-1.
With a 4-run lead, you can play conservative. As I said, he's got maybe a 3-foot, 4-foot lead, maybe, if that.
And here's Jackson's next pitch on the way, outside, 3-1. And again, should he get walked or get a hit, Scanlon would be the next batter up for the Pilots. Jackson taking a check at first, 3-1 count, looking to at least get it to a full. Next pitch on the way. Just high, ball 4, and now it's going to be Scanlon up the bat. Runners at first and second with 2 outs, and from what I see, there are a couple of pitchers warming up in the bullpen for the Skunks. Scanlon had a pinch hit single when he came in for Fabian, but he got stranded on third base. And the guy warming up, it looks like it's number 21, Patrick DeMarco. So we could see him either this inning if Jackson can't get out of it, or at the start of the top of the 8th. But here's Jackson's next pitch in the dirt. But again, Maglio, a good job blocking the pitch, 1-0.
And that runner on second was dancing, daring Maglio to throw him out at second, but Maglio is smarter than that.
And then after Scanlon, there's not going to be a pinch hitter. It will be Matt Kine coming back up next, should that occur. But right now, Jackson in a 1-0 count. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. Timeout, though, called by Scanlon as he takes a practice cut and steps back into the box.
Matt Kine, as you said, he's up next. He is 1 for 3 with a strikeout, a single, and he reached base on an error.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to go foul again into that souvenir area and possibly the food area of the ballpark. Hopefully that ball doesn't hit someone's nachos or ruins a hot dog. But count goes even, 1-1.
They are $2 today, so
Nothing wrong with a nice, juicy hot dog. That's a symbol of baseball right there. 1-1 count again, 2 outs. Runners on first and second as Jackson takes a look at second. Next pitch. That's low, 2-1. Jackson will step back onto the rubber.
if Newark are playing a little risky today, they might go with a double steal hit and run. But honestly, I can't see them doing that today.
2-1 pitch on the way by Jackson. That's low, 3-1. And before the next pitch, we're at the top of the hour. Once again, you're listening to Jamestown Tarp Skunks Baseball on WRFALP 107.9 FM in Jamestown, New York, as Jackson is in a 3-1 hole here on this pitch count. And again, Scanlon looking to get on base and keep this inning alive. I'm sure Newark's hungry to hit double figures in runs. Next pitch on the way, it's a chopper to short. And Tucker will just touch the second base himself for the force. And we've hit the 7th inning stretch here at Dietrich, but not before Newark extended their lead to 4 runs.
And we'll stay with you for this break and thank another one of our sponsors. Actually, support for WRFA's coverage of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting's American Rescue Plan Stabilization Grant. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting is a private nonprofit corporation created by Congress in the Public Broadcasting Act of 1967. It is the steward of the federal government's investment in public broadcasting and the largest single source of funding for public radio, television, and related online and mobile services. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting works to ensure universal access to non-commercial, high-quality content and telecommunication services. It does so by distributing more than 70% of its money to more than 1,500 locally owned public radio and television stations like WRFA. For more information, visit cpb.org. Back to you guys.
As always, Jason, thank you very much. As Lowe's going to get another inning here for the Pilots. Ever since he came in for Henry Tyler, it's been nothing but donut holes, bagels, goose eggs, whatever of a food of an O shape or zero you want to name it. It was 4-0 after 2 innings, but since then, beyond that, it's been 8-0 in favor of Newark as they're ahead 8-4. As we're going to see to start it off in the bottom of the 7th, it'll be Campus, Lane, and Durrell.
Fruit Loops are my favorite O-shaped food.
Okay, so we got some Fruit Loops on the board as well. Or we could even say Apple Jacks.
Cheerios, how about that? If you're feeling British.
So Lowe about to finish up his warm-up pitches, the last one, as the catcher will throw it to second, and Campus will come back up the bat.
Might be a little tired after taking a couple warm-up pitches from Jackson, as Maglio was getting treated by the athletic trainer in the dugout.
Campus, he's looking for his first hit of the night.
You're supposed to have the night off from catching, and look what happened. You had to take a couple from the crouched position.
Well, Lowe about to get another inning of work started. Here's the next pitch. Inside, ball 1.
Good take on that one. Could have cut back inside for that front door cutter.
1-0 count. Campus looking to start a rally here for the Skunks. Next pitch on the way. Swung on and missed for strike 1. I think he wanted to try and hit that to the CN Tower again, but he went empty.
It looked like he wanted to leave a vapor trail with that one.
But all he got was the breeze. 1-1 pitch. Foul around the Skunks dugout. It'll be 1-2.
Campus, as you said, is hitless so far today. He has a strikeout in the first inning, and he flew out to center field in the 4th.
It's a 1-2 count. Next pitch on the way by Lowe. Outside. Count goes even at 2s. Lowe gets a cut of the rosin bag to grip the ball better with his hands. Counts even. Lowe getting ready for the next pitch. Here it comes. Swung on and missed the dirt, strike 3, but it was on the ground. He can still get the first, but he's unsuccessful. So now it will be Brandon Lane, the right fielder, up the bat.
And that, unfortunately, is Campus's second strikeout of the day. At least he's not 3.
Yeah, 3 is the hat trick, 4 is the golden sombrero, and 5 is the record for one game.
I thankfully have never worn a golden sombrero.
But here's the next pitch on the way by Lowe. And it's going to be a grounder to third. A little hesitation, but a good recovery there by Morgan. A 5-3 ground out, as now it's going to be Durrell up the bat.
The left fielder today, he is 1 for 1 with a base on balls in his first at bat and a single thrown out, trying to stretch that single into a double in the 4th.
Yeah, he was safe for a moment, but he overslid it, and by the time he got back up, the fielder had possession of the ball and just tagged him out. Lowe's next pitch on the way. Outside corner, called strike 1.
You mentioned he overslid it. I honestly don't think he even knew he had to slide. I thought he had the base dead to rights, but there was a play, and it was close as the pitch comes in.
All fouled off for strike 2. Hits as a nylon netting. And there are times, though, people either overslide or they're safe, but they thought they were out.
Yeah.
And then they get tagged out when they walk to the dugout.
The slow walk by the umpire to get that fetched ball. Where's the guy in the on-deck circle?
The guy in the on-deck circle, should Durrell get a hit, it's Maglio, the catcher. Jamestown in some deep trouble here. They're down to their last 7 outs as this is a grounder to first. Oh, he juggled it, but he can still get the out. It was fair. Bad throw! And can he still get the first? No. Now it's an out. It looks like Durrell was limping, though. That was why he had some trouble getting the first. He was gimping over there, but was unable to get to it in time. 1-2-3 inning for the Pilots, and that's how we end 7 innings here at Dietrich. But stick around for the continuation of this matchup right here on WRFA.
That was a wacky 3.
And we're about to start the top of the 8th inning here at Dietrich Park. Jamestown behind 8-4. Got a couple substitutions here. Pitching now for the Skunks. It's going to be number 23, Nathan Smith, a right-hander. And with Durrell, who was playing left field, he got hurt trying to head over to first base, and it may have been exacerbated from trying to stretch a single to a double, which was back in the 4th inning. Right now, it's going to be Jordan King taking over at left field for Durrell. And the batters that we'll be seeing in the 8th inning to start it off, it'll be Kine, then back to the top of the order with Werner and Whitley.
10-1-2 to start the inning.
Yeah, and between them, from what I'm going to see right here, they are a combined 7 for 11, with Whitley being 4 for 4. 8 runs on 15 hits and just 1 error for the Pilots. So they're nearing that safe landing to a victory here at Dietrich Park tonight. Skunks 4 runs, 5 hits, but 3 errors. Kine looking for his 2nd hit of the game. Next pitch first pitch on the way. It's in the dirt for ball 1.
With this going on, you got to wonder, will the Tarp Skunks lose their first of the season?
The way it's looking and the way Newark has been dominating since the top of the 3rd inning, we may see a rare bottom of the 9th. We only saw that 4 or 5 times last season fully here at home at Dietrich.
And there is a balloon flying over second baseman.
And it's a star balloon, and it's going to go high in the air with the greatest of ease, and then when it goes past the stratosphere, it's going to go pop. As the next pitch was a ball for 2-0.
Too bad it won't join the other stars. I'll say that.
Next pitch on the way. Inside again, 3-0 for Smith.
Not a good way to start his outing off. Maybe he just likes the pressure. He wants a runner on.
There are some pitchers that are pressure cookers. They're way better when runners are on base. Here's a 3-0 pitch on the way. Foul ball, strike 1.
Surprised with the 10-hole hitter. They gave him the green light on a 3-0 count, but if he liked it, he probably even overlooked the green light, or the red light in this case.
Well, it's still a hitter's count, and it's still a green light here. 3-1 pitch on the way. Ball 4. Kine gets walked, and we're going to be back to the top of the lineup with T.J. Werner.
T.J. Werner is 1 for 4 with a double to his line today, and he later came around to score.
His last at bat in the 6th inning, he flew out the left. So he'll look for a second hit of the game. He's got a runner on first with nobody out. Next pitch on the way for Smith. And that's outside ball 1. And so far, Smith having some trouble with the control.
Tough to find the strike zone, especially, you know, sometimes when you're when you're on the mound in the bullpen, it's a lot easier to pitch in a situation, especially this situation where you're down by 4.
Next pitch on the way, and it's a ball, 2-0. So far, 5 of the first 6 pitches have not been strikes for Smith.
And that one pitch that was a strike was a foul off into the nylon netting as he tries a pickoff move to first, but he is safe easily.
Just like the jersey on TJ Warner, Newark's got 8 runs on the board. They're ahead 8-4, and they'll look to extend their lead. Never hurts to get some insurance runs. The next pitch hits the heart of the plate for strike 1.
2-1 count, you might see a hit and run on, as this is a hit and run count, because he has to attack the plate, and if it's a bad pitch, it's a ball. And we do have Wheels as Matt Kine on first.
He does get back to first safely on that pickoff attempt. And Smith gets back on the rubber. We've hit more than 2.5 hours of game action here tonight at Dietrich Park as the next pitch is on the way by Smith. Hard of the plate, 2-2. Count goes even.
Smith battles back, keeps the count even at 2-2.
Smith looking to get a strikeout, but I'm sure he would also prefer the pitcher's best friend, the double play. Next pitch on the way. Inside, count goes full.
That looked like it caught, you know, the inside corner. It looked to be a breaking ball that was trying to just squeeze in there, but some umpires don't like those pitches and they don't call it.
Full count, runner on first, and increasing the lead. Next pitch fouled off, goes over the top of the bleachers on the right side and into the street that leads to JCC. Count will stay full.
And I do see a couple of cars on that street. We will pray for their safety.
Again, score 8-4 here, full count. Kine on first base. No, excuse me, Werner on first. Kine on first base. Had a little trouble with my scorebook, but 6-4, safe. Not quite a double play. So now it's going to be Whitley up the bat.
The transfer was not quite fast enough by the second baseman, but it was a very slow ground ball, so it was going to be a tough play, especially with Werner up to bat. He's got burner wheels down the first base line.
Yeah, and Whitley, he's been killing Skunk Nation here tonight. He's 4 for 4, 4 singles, 2 RBIs. He'll look for that rare 5 for 5 night.
And as you were talking, they went for a pickoff move to first, but he was safe. He slid under the tag. And Smith now has the ball, and he's on the rubber now.
8 runs and 15 hits for Newark as the next pitch is on the way for Smith. Chopper to third. Oh, goes through in the left for a base hit. King will field it, and he'll just toss it to Tucker. So runners on first and second, just 1 out. And Whitley, 5 for 5 on the night, 5 singles.
You know, when you hit 5 hits, you would hope for that, at least one of them to be a 2-bagger or even a home run, but if you hit 5 singles, I'm sure you'll be sleeping good tonight.
Hey, if you're 5 for 5, a perfect 1,000, I'm sure you'd be happy either way. That's got to be worth a steak dinner.
I'm sure his coach will buy him that.
But right now it's going to be Ty Morgan up to bat. He's 1 for 4 on the night. Next pitch on the way, outside corner for strike 1.
It would be cool if with $2 night here at Dietrich Park, it would be $2 steaks, but I think they might lose a bit of money on that one.
Especially if it's like an 8, 10, 12 ouncer. But nonetheless, Smith ahead in the count, 0-1. Next pitch on the way. Oh, the nasty off speed, outside corner. Looked like a changeup.
With an 0-2 count, he's probably going to be throwing like a splitty on this one, trying to induce a ground ball to the middle of the infield, get a nice little routine double play.
A splitter or a sinker would work as well. Next pitch on the way. In the dirt. Runners are going to advance 90 feet.
I spoke too soon. As now with the double steal, the double play ball is not in effect, so the infielders will all come into the infield grass and try and cut down that run at the plate.
Even with a sac fly, a run could score, but a good base hit, it's double digits. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3, a big out number 2. First strike out for Smith. And now it's going to be Dan Goods, who had a single in his last at-bat.
And that eases the pressure for Smith, as now he can play to his strengths, try and strike out the hitter, or if he wants, he can get a ground ball, no worries. And if he's feeling frisky, he can try and pop one up into the outfield now that the sac fly is out of the question with 2 outs.
I'm sure as long as he's got a 0 on the board, I think he'll personally be happy. Albeit may not be happy with a 4-run deficit for his team, as his next pitch, another beautiful off-speeder inside corner for strike 1. So Smith getting a sign from Maglio. He comes set at the rubber. Next pitch on the way. Another off speed, but too high. Ball 1.
A pitch like that, that's the one where you're trying to induce a pop-up, an off-speed pitch up in the zone, trying to get him to hit it. He's going to try and hit it out of the park, but with the breaking action, it's not going to go far.
Next pitch on the way. Inside, 2-1. So Smith, again, looking to get out this inning without any further damage for Jamestown.
As I mentioned, the infielders are playing back, as now they can just get the out at 1 and keep that 0 on the board.
2-1 pitch, foul. Just wide of our area for strike 2.
Not going to lie, I was going to try and catch that.
Well, it was a case of the Florida State Seminole wide left issue that's happened to them 4 or 5 times in the last 30 years for their football team.
At least it wasn't wide right.
Nah, wide right. Some Bills fans don't like to talk about that, but it's a 2-2 count here right now. 2 outs, 1 strike away from a scoreless inning. Pitch on the way. Gave it a good ride, but it's going to go way foul.
I have to say, if that was fair, that might be gone. Well, it is gone, just foul.
So again, the count's 2-2. Runners on second and third. Score still 8-4. Newark looking for their first win of the season. Jamestown looking to stay undefeated to start it. 2-2 pitch again coming by Smith. Here's the delivery. In the dirt, count goes full, and should he get walked, the next batter up would be the catcher, Jake Given.
And in a late inning with the bases loaded, that is a dream for any young baseball player.
Again, the a la Grand Salami.
3-2 count. The runners were on first and second. They would be stealing, but now they're on second and third.
Here's the next pitch on the way. It's going to be a grounder, fielded by Tucker. Throw to first, just in the nick of time. So a scoreless inning of work for Smith. That's 7.5 in the books at Dietrich. And Max, I'm going to pass it on to you.
Thank you, and I would like to remind you, support for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks on WRFA Radio is brought to you in part by businesses and listeners like you. WRFA is a non-commercial, non-profit community radio station that relies on voluntarily contributions and donations from the listening community to keep our programs on the air. If you appreciate and enjoy this broadcast or any other program available on WRFA, consider making a donation of any amount by clicking the donate button on our website, WRFALP.com. It's fast and easy. Checks of any amount can also be made out to WRFA Radio and mailed to the radio station at 116 East 3rd Street, Jamestown, New York, 14701. Local businesses are also encouraged to sponsor programming on WRFA. To learn more about becoming an underwriter for broadcast of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks, call 716-664-2465, extension 209, or email WRFA@reglinay.com.
And with that, we're about to start the bottom of the 8th inning here. Lowe getting another inning of work. Again, he's been solid in his 5+ innings that he's been in. They did have some work in the bullpen going on, but with Lowe doing so well and still has a good amount of stamina, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And coming up next to bat will be Maglio, Martinez, and Tucker. Or wait, no, I beg your pardon. It's going to be a different batter here for Jamestown. It's going to be number 11, and that's going to be Jack Davis. So he was the one that was behind the home plate for the Skunks. So again, Jack Davis coming up to bat.
Hopefully Maglio is okay.
So here's the next pitch by Lowe on the way. Hard to the plate, strike one.
Good pitch there. I can't imagine that he wasn't taking all the way, as it's his first at-bat of the game.
There was a bit of a quick spiel between the umpire and Lowe. Ahead in the count, 0-1. Next pitch on the way. Inside, count goes even.
Nice little brushback pitch. Not sure if that was intentional, but it definitely keeps him off the plate, especially with the nerves of a first at-bat of the game.
Lowe's next pitch on the way. That's outside, 2-1. So Jack Davis, he's a right-handed batter from North Georgia. Same college as Mark Tucker. Next pitch on the way by Lowe. Way outside, 3-1. Almost like the case of Rick Vaughn, just a bit outside.
I was just about to say that. Wild thing there, number 99.
Except his number is 2/3 smaller, 33. 3-1 count, pitch on the way. Outside, ball 4. So Jamestown off to a good start in this bottom half of the 8th inning, as now it's going to be Henry Martinez, who he's got 2 of the 5 hits for the Skunks tonight.
Hopefully he can get that number up to 6, and if it's in the gap, he could drive one in.
Never know. And Davis, he's got a good lead off first base. Again, catchers, they're not really known to steal bases. Next pitch hits the outside corner for strike 1. So taking a quick cut and stepping back in the box is Martinez. Lowe takes a check at Davis at first. Next pitch on the way. Chop foul, strike 2.
Now, there is some action in the Newark bullpen. Looks to be a right-handed pitcher. Can't really, 2 pitchers actually in the bullpen.
Yeah, one of them looked like it was a number 9, but we're in a far trajectory from the bullpen. Low comes set, 0-2 pitch about to come. On the way, foul ball. Count stays the same, 0-2.
Way to battle here. Making him work, making him sweat on the mound.
Yep. Jamestown down to their last 6 outs. They got to get a rally started sooner rather than later. This is no case of hitting that Staples button and says, that was easy.
At least they started off with a walk and not an out.
Very true. Count though, 0-2. Lowe's next pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And now it's going to be Tucker, the shortstop, up the bat.
That was a tough breaking ball for him to get to, but he did swing through it, and that's what rung him up there.
So Tucker, he's 1 for 2. He had an RBI single in the 2nd inning, and then he struck out looking the backward K in the 5th. Next pitch on the way, hard to the plate. That was a thing of beauty, strike 1. So Tucker inches back into the box. Davis off to a decent lead at first base. Lowe's next pitch. Just a touch high. Count goes even, 1-1.
Davis could spare a few more steps, maybe a half a step, honestly. I don't think he's too worried with this 4-run lead on the mound.
Yep. Got that triple stick. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Next pitch. Foul, but it's going to go out of play and past the Tarp Skunk dugout. 1-2. So Tucker back in the box. Looking for at least a base hit to advance Davis. Tarp Skunk dugout trying to pep up Tucker as the next pitch is, hit him! Got him right on the knee. Runners on first and second with just 1 out, and we're going to go back to the top of the order. the man that's smarter than any average bear, Yogi Hardigan.
And he wore that on the knee. Good for him, honestly, playing to his strengths, as we do have a mound visit coming on. Looks like they might be going to the bullpen, but they could just be trying to calm him down.
Even so, should he get pulled if that was the case, ever since they were down 4-0 and Lowe had to come in for Henry Tyler, Lowe has pitched a gem. He has not allowed one run.
Yes, and if they were to pull him, he would be up for the win, I believe. And
Yes, he would.
he can't get the loss because he would only have 2 runs to his name, but he could get a no decision.
The way it's looking, though, I think he could be getting the win. And being a Skunks announcers, though, sometimes we just got to call it as we see it.
Oh, yeah. As much as we love Jamestown Tarp Skunks and all our fans, we have to be impartial.
Yeah, and give credit where credit's due. That's the #1 important thing.
Especially with a gem like his outing right here. 5 shutout innings.
Hardigan, he is 1 for 3. He had a single back in the first inning to start off the game. He also scored 1 of the 4 runs. And this one's going to drop in the right field, a base hit. Bazile telling Davis to stay put at third. We have a bases loaded situation here, just 1 out. And now it's going to be Nate Johnson. I'm sure deep down he wants to hit that one into the trees, but even a simple 2 RBI single would be a start. Nate Johnson coming up the bat. He's 0 for 2.
Now they are in slam range, so they could tie the game up with this one, but I don't think he wants to go for that, or I think he wants to go for it, but I think he's smart enough to know that just station-to-station baseball is the best way to go.
And there's only 1 out. It's going to be Davis at third, Tucker at second, and Hardigan at first. Next pitch on the way in the dirt, ball 1.
Johnson telling Davis to hold up as the ball didn't squirt too far away from the catcher. Good teammate right there.
1-0 pitch on the way. Inside 2-0.
I don't know, maybe you should have worn that one too. He was dancing away.
Looks like one of the pitchers that's in the bullpen is getting out, unless if it's a case of if it hits a loud, he may come in, or it could be one of the coaches. And it looks like it was one of the coaches indeed, but 2-0 count here. It's a hitter's count. Lowe looking to get a strike here. Outside corner, and he got it, and that was a pitch he needed.
I always wondered what pitchers talk about in the bullpen during the game.
It could be anything. It's just like kickers when they're not doing drills or they're sitting on the bench during a football game. 2-1 pitch inside 3-1, and if a walk is issued here, that's going to force in a run, and the next batter would be Cody Bay.
And Cody Bay is in the 3 spot, so he is probably one of the better hitters on the team, and with a bases-loaded jam, he could do some damage.
3-1 pitch is going to be a grounder. This could be 2. It's going to be 6-4. No double play. A run does score. Davis does get a run in. That cuts the deficit down to 3, 8-5. Their first run since the bottom of the second inning. Runners out the corners with 2 outs. Now we got and it's going to be Cody Bay.
Cody Bay with the runners at the corners. Great situation to be in. With 2 down. Down by 3. No pressure here.
A base hit can drive home Tucker. Here's Lowe's next pitch. Outside corner, strike 1.
Nate Johnson over at first base has a marginal lead. I think he's a little worried about the back pick, but looks like he's increasing it now.
And this one's going to get hit through the gap in the center. Too much hang time, though. It does get caught there by Whitley, and that's how we end 8 full innings here at Dietrich. Jamestown does cut their deficit down to 3, 8-5, but stick around for the 9th inning right here on WRFA. And we're about to momentarily start the top of the 9th inning here at Dietrich Park, right here on WRFA. Jamestown was able to get a run in the bottom of the 8th inning. Their deficit now down to 3, 8-5. For Newark, this is their last chance to possibly get a couple of insurance runs, as the Skunks will get last ups in the bottom.
I remember coming to a game last year. The game, I think, went into 10 innings, and they scored on a wild pitch where the guy came in from second base.
Yep, and
I was there, and that was a
funny?
fun game.
That pitcher that threw that wild pitch, he is on the Jamestown Tarp Skunks right now. He's a member of the team, and it is Eli Shed, number 14. He's the one that threw that wild pitch, and that call, the last call before we started broadcast, that was the whole broadcast of that wild pitch.
I remember that. That was why I was smiling when it was playing, because I was the one screaming over there. I don't know if you might have heard me.
Well, I was the one that was yelling, he's safe, he's safe. But it's going to be another inning here for Nathan Smith. And the guy that scored the winning run for Jamestown, he is coming back on the team, but he's not with them right now, Justin Bailey. And while we're waiting, how about a popular baseball song that's not the national anthem from Creedence Clearwater Revival, John Fogerty's Center Field. A baseball song that never gets old, even when winter hits.
I play this song as my alarm for the morning. Wake up and smell the baseball.
Along with a cup of coffee.
Maybe the roses, I don't know.
But right now it's going to be Given, Smitch, and Doyle that'll be coming up to bat. Smith looking to get a shutout here in the top of the 9th. Next pitch on the way by Smith. Foul ball, going to go into one of the driveway areas of the park for strike one.
I'm glad that I didn't park my car over there.
And thankfully for me, the ballpark from my apartment's walking distance.
Honestly, if it hit my car, it wouldn't do much. It already is missing a mirror.
And the next pitch was inside for a ball one. Counts even here at 1-1. Smith looking to make it a 1-2 count. Next pitch on the way. In the dirt, 2-1.
2-1 counts are always good for the batter, especially for a 5-hole hitter, one of the better power guys. He's got to get something over the heart of the plate here.
Looking to at least even the count. Next pitch by Smith. Swung on, foul, tip for strike two. Count goes even. It back in the box is Given.
Smith definitely felt challenged with a 2-1 count, and he pitches again.
Oh, caught looking, strike three. Backwards K, and it's going to be Smitch up the bat.
Smith versus Smitch, I like this.
It's almost like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but it's Smith and Smitch.
Yeah.
There's an alliteration lesson today for anybody still listening to this game right here on WRFA. We always appreciate the viewers that tune in. Next pitch by Smith, way inside. Little chin music there, 1-0.
And now he has the entire outside half of the plate to work with as he backed him off the plate.
Yes, some batters like to crowd it.
Yeah, maybe setting up for the next pitch here.
And that's going to go over to first. O'Shaughnessy has it. He'll try to get over to Smith, and nice job there. 3-1 ground out. And now it's going to be Mike Doyle up the bat.
J-run drills were always my favorite because I was a first baseman and a pitcher, so I was always in the action. Making those J-runs were always tiring. I was a big kid.
I'm sure it was worth it, though.
Always fun.
2 outs here. Smith looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Next pitch on the way. Outside corner on the off speed for strike one. Ever since his shaky start in the 8th inning, he's looked pretty good ever since. And here's his next pitch on the way. Gets a sign he wants from Davis. Just low. Had a good zone of the outside, but it was low. 1-1.
Looked somewhat similar to the last pitch, but a little bit lower, so that's why he didn't get the call this time.
Next pitch about to happen by Smith. Count even 1-1. Same spot as it was before on the outside and low, 2-1.
Same situation as Given had. Given had the 2-1 count, but he did strike out looking, so there's chance.
Next pitch on the way by Smith. That's outside again, 3-1. Should he get walked, the next batter up would be Espinal.
Espinal's got a big stick over there. He is a big kid.
Big piece of lumber. But here's a 3-1 now by Smith. Outside corner, count goes full.
That one looked like a 50-50 ball, as Jason would call it, as he called it in the top part of the broadcast.
Yep, 50-50, ticky-tack, however you want to say it. But nonetheless, it's a full count here. Smith looking for another shutout inning. Here's the pitch. Swung on, that's to right field, but going under it is Lane. He makes the catch, and that concludes 8.5, and we will have the bottom half of the Skunks in the 9th.
We'll stay with you for this commercial break. Again, Jason Sample checking in. We have Norm Rodriguez and Max Pinchator bringing you the action here. I'm just hanging out, enjoying the scenery, checking in once in a while. Reminder, WRFA will be broadcasting another Tarp Skunks game later on this week on Saturday, June 11th. The Utica Blue Sox will be coming to town. That game will begin at 6:30. And then on the following day, Sunday, June 12th, an early game at 4 p.m., the Elmira Pioneers will take on the Tarp Skunks. Both games being broadcast in their entirety right here on WRFA LP 107.9 FM. Also, one more reminder that we will be participating in Give Big CHQ this Thursday all day long. Make a donation to your community radio station, WRFA, by visiting the Give Big CHQ website. Proceeds will benefit programs like this, our broadcast of Tarp Skunk Baseball, as well as all kinds of other programming as well. And also later on this week on Thursday night at 6 o'clock, it's a community conversation focusing on Chautauqua Lake, hosted by WRFA Public Affairs Director Julia Cecil Hanley, and stakeholders from various lake groups will join her for 1 hour from 6 until 7 o'clock right here on your community radio station. Again, it's a community conversation on Chautauqua Lake, our monthly community conversation series this week on Thursday at 6 o'clock. More details at our website, WRFALP.com. Back to you guys.
Again, as always, Jason, thank you very much. As with this being a save opportunity here for the Pilots, they're bringing out number 21, Drake Sizemore. He's going to come in to close this out, put the game on ice, slam the door, and lock it shut. He's a native of Ardmore, Oklahoma. He's a 6'4", 190-pound freshman, a right-hander who attends Butler Community College.
For any closer, a save situation is always what you want. My favorite closer in my era was Mariano Rivera.
Most people would indeed say that.
I am a Yankees fan, so sorry to any Red Sox fans out there.
But it's going to be O'Shaughnessy, Campus, and Lane coming up to bat. Last ups here for the Skunks.
Yeah, bottom of the 9th, no pressure situation, or all pressure, obviously.
Some people love the pressure. It's a rush. And that first pitch by Sizemore in the dirt, ball 1. And the team DJ trying to pump up the fans. It's working for the Skunks dugout.
They did play some AC/DC, some Thunderstruck as the pitcher was starting.
Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way by Sizemore. And that goes 2-0. And from seeing his pitching motion, I would say that's kind of similar to Alex Wood. A little bit of that stiff motion and then a throw.
Yeah. He does always start from the stretch, which is something you oftentimes see from closers.
Hitters count right now 2-0. Here's the next pitch by Sizemore. Outside 3-0. Again, O'Shaughnessy, he's very good at drawing those walks. He led the team in times walked last year again with 39. He's 1 ball away from getting the free pass.
Not a good start for Sizemore here.
But here comes his next pitch on the way. Ball 4, and he walked him. O'Shaughnessy gets the free pass on 4 pitches, and now it's going to be Captain Johnny Campus up the bat.
Might have been pitching around O'Shaughnessy here. He is the cleanup guy, as I said earlier.
Well, there's going to be a conference on the mound here. 4 pitches, 4 balls, no strikes yet.
maybe you just can't find the plate. I don't know. But a home run or even a double to start off the bottom of the ninth is not good for morale for the Newark Pilots, but I guess neither is a walk.
Even so, the Skunks are still alive. Runner on first and none out, and it's going to be Campus, the DH, up the bat. And he'll be looking for his first hit of the night.
He's due, I'll tell you that.
He's 0 for 3, struck out twice. It also flew out to center. Timeout called here by Given.
Given was telling the first baseman to cover first base. He wasn't, I would assume because they are up by 3, but I don't think Given liked that. I think Given wanted him to know that they were there.
Next pitch on the way by Sizemore. Ball 1 again. So far, 5 pitches, 0 for strikes. Campus will step back into the batter's box.
I would expect a fastball here. I think he wants to get out some frustration.
Count 1-0 here. Sizemore's next pitch on the way. Here's the windup. Finally for Sizemore. It was a delayed call, but he does get that strike. Count goes 1-1.
And there's uproar from the Tarp Skunks dugout, as I think they think it was low. But I think Sizemore needed that. First strike of his outing here.
Yeah, and the count's dead even, 1-1. O'Shaughnessy on first. I don't think he's gonna get the signal to steal because he got caught earlier in the game as Campus swings and misses for strike 2.
With a 1-2 count. Campus is stepping into the box now.
So count 1 and 2 here, and we're gonna have a pinch hitter in the next at bat as the count is 1 and 2. Here's the next pitch on the way. Chopper to third, 5, 4, no, but they are able to get the force out at second, and the pinch hitter for Jamestown, it's going to be Derek Benzinger. He goes to Bergen Community College, and he's a right-hander. Again, Derek Benzinger, he is going to be the pinch hitter.
Benzinger put in a situation where he is not the tying run. The tying run is on deck, so he has to try and just get Campus to at least second base and him on first. It would be ideal for them to both be in scoring position.
Here's the next pitch, though, by Sizemore, fouled off for strike 1. Again, score 8-5 here. Bottom of the ninth inning, and the blue moon is out in the sky because that's how rare we see the bottom of the ninth here at Dietrich Park.
It's a beautiful night out here, I will say that.
Oh, a clear, dark, black-skied night. Always a beautiful one when it's in the summertime. 0-1 pitch. High and outside, ball 1.
As you mentioned, they're a beautiful black sky in the summertime. Can't wait to see the rest of the season unfold.
The season's not even in its infancy yet. 1-1 pitch on the way by Sizemore, and then nearly hit him. Wild pass ball. Almost said wild pitch, but pass ball it was. Campus will advance 90 feet. And now Sizemore will go back onto the rubber.
The team player would have worn that in their dome. Got a helmet for a reason there, Norm.
Yes, you do.
And it looks like there's going to be a talk with the catcher and the pitcher. I think that they just want to settle some nerves here, as it is a high-pressure situation here with the save.
Well, the good thing is it's a 3-1 lead he has, and it's not a 1-run.
One-run leads are always scary. So are 2-point leads in football and in basketball, as the NBA Finals are starting now. Next game is tomorrow.
Well, that series is tied 1-1, but right now Benziger ahead in the count 2-1. Sizemore takes a check at Campus, and here's his next pitch. Fouled off. Count goes even at 2s.
There was some freedom in that hack right there. I don't think he was trying to just lay one in and try to get an all-seeing ground ball in between third and short. I think he was trying to go for a gap and score that run from second.
So count 2-2 here. Sizemore taking a check at campus. Again, he's one of those catchers that's not scared to steal a base. Next pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So 1 out away from reeling in the save is Sizemore, and it's going to be Jordan King coming up to bat. Again, he took over and left earlier in the game for Will Durrell.
Stepping in, very high pressure situation with 2 down, 1 run on, and the tying run still in the on deck circle. But these are moments that you dream of if you're a batter or a pitcher.
Yes, indeed, as King steps up in the box. Taking a check at campus. Next pitch on the way for Sizemore, excuse me. Hits the heart of the plate for a strike 1. So after a bit of a rocky start, gets a big strikeout for the second out, and he's 1 out away from getting the Pilots their first win of the season.
And giving the Tarp Skunks their first loss of the season, too.
So that's the double-edged sword of it.
Sizemore steps off.
He's wanting that right sign from Given. Again, they'll take a check at campus. It's an 0-1 count. Next pitch on the way. Outside, 1-1.
The ball looked a little close. The Pilots crew did not like that, but obviously they wanted a strike call there.
Yes, they did.
1-1 count here, as Sizemore is from the stretch as always.
And here's the next pitch on the way. Right down the heart of the plate. Strike 2.
And here's a tough situation here. 1-2 count, 2 gone with a runner on second, tying run on the on-deck circle. Down to their final strike.
Yes, they are in danger of their first loss of the season. Sizemore taking a check at campus.
Crowd of many on their feet.
Yes, it is. 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. King caught looking. Newark will hand Jamestown their first loss of the season. Newark gets their first win of the year, 8-5. Sizemore credited with the save, and it's going to be Lowe credited with the W for the Tarp Skunks. They'll slip to 3-1 in the season. Newark 1-2. Again, final score 8-5. What was 4-0 in favor of Jamestown after 2 innings. The starting pitching just fell off the rails. 5 runs given up in the third, and Newark never looked back. So, Max, do you got any final thoughts before we shut this one down for the night?
It's great working with you, Norm, for the first time.
I'm looking forward for some more games throughout the season myself.
Of course.
And we're also probably going to have some 3-way conversations along with Jessica when she's able to start doing some of the commentary as well. I know it's going to be a fun ride. And with that, once again, your final score, the Newark Pilots 8, the Jamestown Tarp Skunks 5. And that's going to do it for tonight's coverage of Jamestown Tarp Skunk Baseball on WRFA. Again, the final score, your Jamestown Tarp Skunks 5 and the Newark Pilots 8. Thank you to our studio engineers, Gavin Paternetti, as well as Anthony Merchant, and also to our WRFA intern team. Tonight, though, Max Pinjator, and for my broadcast partner, Max Pinjator, along with producer Jason Sample, I'm Norm Rodriguez saying thank you for listening to tonight's Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball game right here on WRFA. We will see you on Saturday.